You are listening to the Boxing Voice.
It's showtime! Welcome back, boxing fans.
Blood is good.
Our face, a match of blood.
Blood is emotion.
Too much blood coming out of the eye.
Blood is a story, a drama.
Deep gas, blood pouring right into his eye.
Blood is what we want to see in terms of passion.
Blood streaming now from the cut in the eye, nose, his mouth, his cheeks swollen, and he's still crawling.
What we want is a bloody good fight tonight.
We have Heather, the Heat Hardy. Is this you?
This is me. I think I need to talk to you every night because you make me smile and blush over here.
Never been a lame hoe, never been a lame hoe. Yeah, I love you trick. I'm okay.
You're serious? You're serious?
And that's the good thing about UK. That's why I can't hate on them guys, man. They love fucking boxing.
No fighters in England. They all bums.
Did you hear what this idiot just said?
Yo, son, you're gonna get your ass beat by Molina, son.
Are you fucking kidding me? He's overrated.
Do some pushes for me right now.
For the interview?
Yes. Let those gifted hands go. Get out of here, Virgil. Go home.
What next?
You want the famous for the food? You don't even want it? You want the famous for the food?
BoxingVoice.com. This is why we use the word sensation.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Boxing Voice. Tonight's going to be the Lomachenko Gary Russell post-fight show. And had Guerrero Kamegai turned out the way we expected, this would have only been titled Lomachenko versus Russell. But that was a hell of a fight. And the first one was a fight that we were all expecting. The curse is real, ladies and gentlemen. The curse is real. I did not expect Gary Russell to look the way that he looked, but I'm sure that I had it a lot closer than you folk. I tried to stay off of Twitter, you know, doing so much here at the house that I didn't want you guys to ruin it for me, and the phone was blowing up. But once I watched the fight and went back and read all my tweets, I don't know. I think people were a little more giving a lot of credit to Lomachenko, a little too much credit rather. But he looked phenomenal. But before I introduce my beautiful co-host, let me take care of the bills. First, I want to mention Christopher. Christopher, you know who you are. I don't know should I say your last name. You know, you guys are gonna have to let me know that, but thank you so much for your PayPal donation. I'm going to put that for the I'm gonna divide it into a few submissions for the Canelo Alvarez gloves, which I forgot to talk about. It started last Sunday show, or was it Thursday? I don't know. I think it was the last show. But the point is, we got this glove. We got to give it away. We're gonna give it away on Sunday. It's signed by Canelo Alvarez. If he wins, this glove is a piece of history. If he loses, well then, you know, you got the glove of the guy that lost the fight. He's still going to be a star, you know? I mean, all his fights are pay-per-view. But, yes, definitely don't forget, if you want to get involved in this giveaway for the Saul Canelo Alvarez autograph signed glove, just head on over to the Boxing Voice, click the donate button, $1.40. $1.40. 40 cents, of course, is going to go to PayPal. We're going to get $1, and with that, we'll have your first and last name plus your address. If you win, we will send it out to you. But that $1 goes to buying more Everlast autograph signing gloves to get more signatures for you guys. So remember, man, we're doing what we can for you guys because, you know, we are the streets and you guys are the voice of the people. And without you guys, we're nothing. So like Audible, I definitely want to, of course, talk about Audible because they got over 150,000 titles. And you love podcasts, clearly, because you're tuned into us 3 hours twice a week. So, I mean, listen, it's the same as a podcast. You pick a title, you know, press play, and you go for your long drive when you're driving from Cali to Vegas, or, you know, for us Jersey folk, when we're coming from New York or northern Jersey to an Atlantic City fight. Pop it in, listen to a great book, and at the same time support your favorite podcast. B, your chat room war is coming off on the show. The keyboard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And last but not least, something that Beeb, of course, is more familiar with because he's not only is he our neighborhood technical guy, and clearly the one between him and Vic now winning. James, I guess I'm the only one doing bad, but always known for his good takes on the sport and on nutrition, because as you can see, that young 20-year-old guy over there is actually 40, and he messes with on it. So definitely click on the banner over at theboxingvoice.com/affiliate sponsors and get like Beeb, man, get all cut up. Chat room roll call. We did it last show. We're gonna continue to do it. It's open. I'm on time, guys, and for all the many times that I forget you, I apologize. I don't forget you. I forget the chat. But don't forget that if you're ever in any type of trouble or whatever and you need to get out of jail quick, fast break bail bonds. The fastest way to get out of jail is calling 973-497-7000. And they'll get you out, brother. They got payment plans as low as 1%. That's basically unheard of. So don't forget that number, 973-497-7000. Fast break bail bonds, baby. Your freedom call. Our number, of course, is 646-478-3068. Press 1 if you want to, feed me my crow. I know a lot of you guys are gonna call, and let me tell you something. I'm rambling, but let me tell you, I'm fully aware of what's going on. There was only 8 people that picked Lomachenko. 8. So all you guys in the queue right now that have already pressed 1 and you're ready to call in, and you think that you're gonna tell someone you picked Lomachenko, no, sir. We kept a tally. We know who didn't. There was 16 people that picked Gary Russell. So all you fucktards that are tweeting me, talking all this shit, where were you? Where were you when we were live at 646-478-3068, taking calls and taking picks? And all those guys said Gary Russell right along with me. And at the end of the day, man, I'm 2 out of 3. I got 2 of those right. A lot of you guys, Nelta included, picked fucking Karras. So, whatever.
You want the title shot at the beat. He's not even running. You want the title shot at the beat.
I want to say one thing, too, because I got a text last night saying, "I told you so," after Lomachenko won. And I'm not going to mention the guy's name because I'm not going to put the person on blast. But I said Lomachenko was going to win right when the fight was announced. It didn't even take me time to have to think about it. I knew that Lomachenko was going to win right when the fight was announced, and you guys heard me say it all along, even on the show on Thursday. Am I correct?
No, but B, you know what happened? Remember, I'm included in that text message.
No, this was a private text. This person private texted me, I swear to God.
It wasn't the other one?
No, it was a private text, and someone said, "I told you." And I've been saying Lomachenko right when the fight was announced. Everyone was like, "Oh, let me think about it. Let me wait. It's 50-50, blah, blah, blah." I said it right away. Now, obviously, I'm not friggin' the man with the crystal ball, but I just thought Lomachenko was going to win right from the jump. There's certain fights, when I look at them, I just kind of figure them out right away, And it's just funny how people don't watch the show, or they watch the show, but they don't really pay attention. They selective listen, and that's the problem. But a lot of listeners.
Out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Boxing fans, here's Jameson.
Yeah, man, I was one of the lucky ones that picked Lomachenko. I said exactly basically what happened. I knew it was going to be something similar to that, but it was a good fight. We had good fights this weekend, though. Even the Robert Guerrero one really surprised me. I thought that one was going to end early because I've seen that Japanese dude at the StubHub Center before, and I knew he threw a billion punches, and I knew he had a chin. That's what I was saying going up to it. So I didn't know it was going to be like that, but I like the fights. Friday fights were good, too.
Man, speaking of Friday night fights, bro, let's get into some of this other stuff before we get into the what really happened. But in Fox Deportes, McWilliams Arroyo, he took on Florian Saunders for an IBF title eliminator. And Cesar Seta was also back in action in this fight. Did you guys catch these?
I only saw the Caesar Sato one. I didn't finish it. It was on my DVR, but Caesar Sato looked good, man.
This one happened Thursday, and we were live on the show. I forgot to DVR, so I didn't get any of this, but I'm sure Beeb did because you were free, right, Beeb?
He's on mute.
Oh, okay. Well, James, you said you seen it. What'd you think?
Well, I don't know. He was going against. I saw this dude's last fight. This Royales guy. What's his Rangel? I saw his last fight when he fought here in Arizona, one of the local shows. And I think he won the fight, if I can remember. But I don't remember him even being standout in that show. So, I mean, he is what he is. So, but Cesar Sato looked good. He looked sharp. He was fast. He was quick. He was fucking with the dude basically the entire time. I don't know. There's not really much more to say. It was a good fight, though. And then there was like an undercard fight of that, too, and that was good, too. I don't remember who it was, though. We don't have it on the itinerary either. Are you on mute?
I know that Nelta's seen that, and he'll be calling in because he's one of the guys that picked Lomachenko. So that's 1 out of 8, 7 to go, okay? So I'm keeping track because these guys, man, they fucking killed me. But the show Extreme also took place on Saturday because, those Fox Sports, that was Thursday night. I was really sad Friday night that there was nothing. I didn't understand that. But, yeah, man, over on Showtime, they had a lot of fights. And the one that impressed me the less was the Brazil guy.
That impressed you the least?
The least.
Why? You were high on him. I was bagging on him last time, and you were talking shit, saying that, like, he's been stepping up and all that.
Yeah, well, he stepped up fighting Nagy Aguilera, but this was a step, if not 100 yards, paces away, because this dude was a nobody, and he was like overweight, and it was a sparring match, and the dude like he turned his back, and I don't even believe for 1 minute that he meant to quit, but the referee knew that it was like such a bum fight going on. It was like those YouTube bum fights from back in the day. He's like, man, let me just stop this shit before the fucking fans start throwing tomatoes. It's horrible. Brazil was landing clear shots, but I don't even know what type of heavyweight this is. He was clobbering this guy, and he wouldn't take him down or knock him out, and he's so wild, and man, wow. Look, he impressed me by stepping up with Aguilera, but he digressed not only in competition, but in performance to me.
Yeah, no, I told you I wasn't from the beginning, man. I wasn't too high on him, but he looked exactly like how I thought he would look, so. Chad Dawson, though? Oh, my God. It doesn't even look like Chad Dawson was trained for this fight. I didn't know he was that big. He wasn't cut at all. Have you seen that, like, before and after picture that they have on Twitter from, like, his last fight to this fight? It's insane.
I didn't see the before and after picture, but
he gained so much weight.
I watched.
What do you think of it?
I wasn't impressed by Chad, and he came in overweight. That's not cool. I don't know, man. I don't know what this means. He's acting as if he took this fight on short notice, because in his post-fight speech, he said, well, now I'm back. So I got to get my team together, and once we get my team together, we're gonna be good. So what did he do? He trained himself for this fight? Like, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't know, man. And he knows, like, he's been doing bad. He's on TV because he signed to Al Heyman, but at the end of the day, he's gonna be used as an opponent. So he should be taking this final opportunity with everything that he has, and instead it seems like he's bullshitting, because how do you make a comeback after a year and can't make weight? When did you decide throughout this motherfucking year that you was gonna come back last night? When did that decision cross your mind? Did it cross your mind 6 weeks before this fight?
Yeah, and I think they said that he said before he started training camp he was like 206 or something like that too.
Wow, that's heavy for him.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. His mindset. Because why would I decide, you know what, James, I'm going to fucking make a comeback when I'm 200 pounds. Let me start running. Let me get back at least working the fuck out and put down the fucking cookies and cream ice cream. You know what I'm saying? But clearly he wasn't doing that. Clearly, he's like, I don't. Man, look, a dude that been knocked out the way that he's been knocked out, he needs us to still care about him. And at this stage in his career, he's like a 2-time world champion. He was great at one point. He beat Ademic, Glenn Johnson twice, Tarver twice. Like, this dude was good.
Hopkins.
And now you come back and you disrespecting the fans by not making weight. We already watching you on TV versus the fucking janitor from down the street. So we taking that because it's your comeback fight and you've been knocked out a bunch of times by Ward and Stevenson. But then you don't even make weight. That's a smack in the face to us as boxing fans, I believe.
Well, a lot of these guys, though, when they're not training for a fight, they just eat like shit. And Bernard Hopkins doesn't go that high above his fighting weight because he eats pretty much clean year-round. These guys just, I don't know what happens to them, but they just don't know what to do with themselves, a lot of these fighters, when they're not training for a fight. And that's going to catch up to them. I mean, when you start getting in your 30s and stuff, you can't be doing that stuff, that yo-yo diet and crap, because it's gonna really take a toll on your body. And this guy Blades that he knocked out, I guess Jean Pascal, it took him 5 rounds to knock him out, and Zolt Erdai took him 11 rounds to knock him out. So he knocked him out in 1. I don't know what you want to take away from that, but like you said, it is what it is, you know.
He didn't impress me. If anything, he left a bad taste in my mouth. Now I'm gonna be rooting for Marcus Brown when he fights Youssef Mack, and hope that he looks great. And the fact that he's been looking a bit flawed when throwing his right hand is because he was fighting low-level opposition. So as he steps up, you know how some guys, when they step up the level of competition, they themselves fight better, you know? So if he can get past Mack, then give him Dawson. Give him Dawson. Fast track his ass. And if not, give Dawson the other light heavyweight, Williams Jr. After he beats Campillo, give him Dawson, because Dawson needs to be taught a lesson, man.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think that Dawson's going to kind of be a gatekeeper now, or do you still think he can make some noise? Because if you're talking about feeding him to prospects, you know, it seems like you're relegating him to gatekeeper status. I mean, I'm not criticizing you for doing that. I'm just saying, do you think he slipped that much? I'm just curious to hear your take on it.
No, I don't think that he slipped that much, but I'm upset at the fact that a 2-time world champion who's never had issues making weight, besides even when he went down in weight, he made weight. So I just think at this point in his career, you don't do that. You know, that's, you don't do that.
Especially when you have the layoff and you have the time to take the weight off. You can start your camp a little earlier, and basically, you can do your conditioning year-round. You should still do light conditioning.
They were in the same situation. They were in the same situation, and Guerrero made weight.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I'm not defending him at all. I'm just saying.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Guerrero's taking it seriously. Chad Dawson, in my opinion, is not. So if you're not going to take it serious, let's use you for what you are at this point, and it's a name. Because let's be honest, everybody on this panel, please answer me this. If he didn't sign to Al Heyman, would he be back on television?
No.
Probably not.
No, the fuck he wouldn't. No, the fuck he wouldn't, because he was already signed to Gary Shaw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you facts as to why. Okay. He was already signed to Gary Shaw and turned his back on Gary Shaw. He was already signed with Jay Prince as a manager, and he's no longer with Jay Prince. So like, where else is he gonna go? Because Bob Arum isn't gonna fucking sign a black fighter, which he hates promoting clearly, and a guy who's just coming off 2 losses. You're crazy.
Well, let's look at
on TV.
Let's look at the flip side of that. Look at someone like Andre Durrell, who once he left Al Heyman, we haven't seen him in what, 2 years, for Christ's sakes. So that just shows you the impact that Heyman does have, and being connected in this business is so important. Because what has 50 Cent done for Durrell? I mean, it's not even 50 Cent's fault. I mean, last time, I think I interviewed Durrell when that 50 Cent show was there at the Evgeny Gradovich Billy Dib card, and I talked to him, and you talked to him as well, and he gave us the impression that he was going to jump right back into the fray and be busy again. But I guess there's more to it when you're not connected. You just can't get those fights. And the fighters that are connected, they should be very thankful and they should feel lucky.
Babe, you know, I'm so happy, I swear to God, with like telekinetic, man. You just brought up that fight, right? Remember when you were interviewing Guerrero, right?
Yeah.
The translator, think about his face. Now tell me, is not that the same guy that was translating for Lomachenko last night?
He manages a lot of guys. He manages Jurov, he manages not Jurov, excuse me, Lomachenko, and he manages Gradovich as well. And there's another, I think there's a few other guys he has too. I'm trying to remember who else he has. He has somebody else too. I want to say he has a super middleweight. I can't think of him right now. He has a super middleweight or a light heavyweight. I can't think of him right now. But he's got a couple fighters, that guy. That is the same guy.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. I know this guy. He's such a nice guy, by the way.
Oh, he's a really nice guy. I like that guy a lot. He's so honest, and you know, he just
awesome.
He comes across as very very cooperative, should I say, with the press. Like if you want to interview, he's very cordial about it. He's not uptight about it at all. He lets you always talk to the fighters, and that's what I like about that guy.
So, did you guys catch the NBC Sports Network fights?
I did not.
I was like flipping back and forth, but you know what? I caught him like little bits and pieces because I forgot to set the DVR like an idiot because I forgot that those fights were on. I can't believe I forgot those fights were on.
Yo, so Nahajid Muhammad, he stopped, or Muhammadi, whatever. He stopped Dawson. Dawson is this guy that there was all this hype.
Yeah, he was clamoring for Hopkins, sitting there yelling, "I want Hopkins." No, who did he say he wanted next? Yeah, he wanted Hopkins so bad.
Hopkins, because this was in the IBF title eliminator, so you know, and he got upset Saturday night, dude. Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah, he was sitting there saying the Hopkins was ducking him. He should get the shot, this and that, and crazy, isn't it?
Watch the undercard with Carl Dargan. He looked pretty good. He's 135?
I believe so. Yeah. Well, I thought he was 140, but I guess these guys bounce back and forth sometimes.
He's a lightweight, yeah.
Yeah, man. He looked good, and they were talking about the power, and clearly this was a fight to show that he can. Because they were basically saying that he's 29 and he's undefeated and he hasn't been on television because his style is not fan friendly because he doesn't knock people out. So in this fight, he went out and he knocked this guy out. But the thing about Anthony Flores is I seen his last fight when he upset the A side, and he's pretty deep. He looked good winning this fight that he was supposed to win. I just don't know where that puts him at 135, and I don't know. It's just a lot of people there, especially now with this Crawford Gamboa fight. Then possibly Mikey Garcia is going to be fighting in that weight division. It's just a lot of names at 135. Even you got Anthony Peterson who just signed to Heyman. I don't think that Dargan could handle those guys not having power, only being able to knock out the level of a Flores. You guys there?
No, I think you froze up.
You froze up for a second there.
You froze up for a second.
I don't know if it's internet issues on your end or not. I don't know.
I'm here. I hear you guys fine. I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Robbie real quick.
Introducing the hard-hitting ringside Robbie.
It's showtime! I haven't done that in a long time. I had to do it.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
What was that?
It looks like Blog Talk kicked me off, but I'm here. Let me get Robbie back on because Robbie, are you there?
Here. I'm here.
All right. What's going on, brother? So what you think of last night's fights? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I could talk about everything that you guys have discussed because I watched all those fights. I totally agree with you on Chad Dawson. Give him give him anybody, Marcus Brown, Thomas Williams, make him prove that he still wants to fight. And I need to eat my crow because I got 2 of them wrong last night. But I'm always going to root against Devin Alexander. I'm not a fan of his. But and I got the Lomachenko fight wrong. And by the way, it was 16-9, Ness. I kept track. It was 16-9 as far as the count, as far as who
right,
picked
hold
Russell.
Hold on. I got something.
Okay.
It's almost ready. It's coming out the oven.
Yeah, thank you very much. Had a bad night Saturday night, but that's okay. But no, it was 16-9. So because while I'm sitting here listening to the show, I'm keeping a tabulation. So because we want to make sure that people admit when they're wrong.
Yeah.
As far as in Lomachenko, one of the reasons why I picked against him, I'm not for a fighter getting a title shot in his 2nd or 3rd pro fight. In my opinion, you have to earn that, and I don't like the fact that he got 2 title shots in his first 3 fights. That rubs me the wrong way, and I was very impressed with the Guerrero fight. I think that was the best fight on the entire card, to be honest with you. But in boxing, in my opinion, you have to earn your privileges. And I think they shoved Lomachenko down our throat twice for whatever reason. Maybe because Top Rank is desperate to create a star, but I just don't like how he got the title.
But does beating Russell now, in your mind, legitimize him?
Yeah. Well, let's face it. Gary Russell was tailor-made for him, as it turned out, because as Ness or as others pointed out on this show in previous shows, Gary Russell has had 24 soft touches. He's never had a tough fight in his life, and he didn't know how to react last night when he was dealing with somebody that was better skilled than he was. So that's I would like to see Lomachenko in against somebody that's actually had some tough competition, because it's kind of hard to judge Lomachenko on the fact that Gary Russell had not had very good fighters to work against. That's my whole point, James. You have to earn your privileges in boxing, and they gave Gary Russell 24 soft touches.
I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to give my take on what you just said, Robbie. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on one point. And correct me if I'm wrong. Are you saying that that Lomachenko didn't deserve this title shot either? Because I want to be clear on what you're saying, because I think Lomachenko proved he belonged in the Salido fight. I picked Salido to win that fight, but I was very impressed with the way Lomachenko closed that fight. I like how he hurt Salido at the end, and I thought he kind of made his bones in that fight. But let me ask you, Robbie, and the whole panel, did this fight last night just show, because both guys didn't have a lot of experience in terms of fighting top pros, but is this just a testament to how the amateur program is so much superior to the United States in Europe, or am I being out of line by saying that? Am I correct in saying that? Because
no,
Lomachenko seemed...
I don't think you're wrong here, and I don't mind if you disagree because he did fight a very good fight against Salido. I watched that fight too, but I just back in the day, and as far as I know, it's still supposed to happen. When you start your professional career, you have to earn, you have to work your way up the ladder. And I've never heard of anybody handing somebody 2 title shots in their first 3 fights. That's what I have a problem with. Now, Lomachenko is going to be around a while. He's going to be a very good fighter, and we're all going to be very pleased to see him. I just don't like somebody being handed something on a silver platter. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, that is the flip side to the argument. But I guess after watching this guy for only 3 fights, we can get the sense that he belongs. Obviously, the whole thought process, in theory, I can see where you're coming from, but he's kind of put a hole right through that theory because of how he's showing us how good of a fighter he is. A lot of us questioned him. I questioned him most definitely in the Salido fight. And even though I was right that I picked him to lose, he still answered some questions to me because he dug down deep. And I think this kid's going to get better because once he gets acclimated to fighting 12 rounds, I think he'll get even better. Because right now I don't think either him or Gary Russell's acclimated to fighting 12 rounds. And you kind of saw how they each took portions of rounds off because they haven't really felt their way through fighting 12 rounds. They haven't learned how to pace themselves. And I think once Lomachenko learns how to pace himself and gets acclimated to the 12-round distance, I think he'll get even better, in my opinion.
Beeb, who would you pick? Because when he was supposed to win the Salido fight, they were saying that had he won, he would fight Rigondeaux next. That's what Bob Arum wants. Now, the problem with Rigondeaux-Lomachenko happening is that the Rigondeaux fight in Macau, if that happens, that's his last fight with Top Rank. If somehow they pull him off of that and feed him to Lomachenko, being spiteful, okay, who would you pick?
I'd pick Rigondeaux right now, absolutely.
So would I.
Rigondeaux's, and this is taking nothing away from Lomachenko. He could definitely make the fight interesting, but I just think that Rigondeaux has been able to fight just about all his fights at his pace, and we've seen Lomachenko put pressure on, but then also take time off in rounds. So when he's taking time off in rounds, that's when a guy like Rigondeaux is going to really be able to exploit him. Because Rigondeaux, people think he's just a counterpuncher, he lays back, but he switches up the tempo a lot in fights too. There are times when he'll jump in and land something. He'll kind of lull you to sleep by laying back in the cut. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he'll shoot a straight left at you. And we saw him do that in the Tion Kennedy fight. He became very offensive. If you're going to sit back and leave him alone, he'll jump out at you. You know what I'm saying? He'll jump out at you and he'll hurt you. And he can punch. Rigondeaux can definitely punch. And that's the X factor about this guy. He's one of the few counterpunchers that has a real heavy hand.
Now, I will say this, right? I'm going to eat my crow early as well. I don't even get the opportunity to cook my crow. I got to eat it raw because I've just been consistently losing. But I don't give Gary Russell such a hard time like the rest of these guys that are tweeting me on my timeline throughout yesterday, basically calling him a bum. He held his own. He didn't get.
He's not a bum.
And if he had power, because what was evident in that fight to me was that he could not hurt Lomachenko.
He couldn't land flush either, though. He couldn't land his shots.
But imagine that same fight with the power being equal, because he outthrew Lomachenko.
But he didn't outland, though. He was
every round. The problem had no power.
But he couldn't land shots. He was very inaccurate. This is going back to what I talked about before. The guys had hand problems, right? And I noticed in this fight that he wasn't turning his shot over, okay, and he wasn't fully extending on his punches. When you're taught to punch, you're taught to punch through your target. He was basically throwing punches, and I think the Showtime analysts, both I think Paulie said it and Al Bernstein said it. He was just throwing punches just to keep Lomachenko occupied, so Lomachenko wouldn't throw punches back at him, sort of like get off me punches. And I think subconsciously, because his hands are so bad, that he's just pulling back on his punches. He's not turning them over. He's not fully extending on his punches because subconsciously, he had those injuries, and I think that's going to stay with him throughout his whole career. I mean, we've seen Floyd Mayweather really not score knockouts later in his career because of his hands, and at least he turns the punches over. This guy Gary Russell seems very, very leery about really opening up. He looks so fast because he's just throwing punches like this. He's not really extending on him. He's really not stepping in with him. He's just kind of basically throwing flurry type punches. I'm not going to say he's flailing, but he's just throwing like little quick flurry type things like Amir Khan used to do, and which Amir Khan did not do in his last fight against Collazo. So I just think being honest, I don't see a huge upside to Gary Russell moving forward, because another thing that the Showtime analysts made a great point, and they pointed it out, and this is something that I didn't even see before in previous fights. He's very repetitious in his attack, and that works against lower level opposition. But if you keep, if you're a pattern type fighter, like Paul Williams was a pattern type fighter, and you kind of see how certain guys could just pick up on it. If you're fighting a guy who's technical, a guy who can process data, a guy who can just kind of read your offense, he's going to keep coming at his opponent repetitiously with the same attack pattern. He could be dissected very easily. And I'm not saying that he's not athletic. I'm not saying that he's not a good fighter. I just think this fight showed a lot of flaws, and I think guys that are on a high level will definitely be able to exploit those flaws, in my opinion.
James, I want to ask you really quick. Is he trying to grab headlines, or is he being a Monday morning quarterback, is the term? Adrian Broner was quoted saying, let me get the exact quote, that Lomachenko is a great fighter and his lack of pro experience didn't really matter when he had a great amateur background like he does. Is he being sincere or what? I mean, or grabbing headlines, staying relevant?
I don't know. Adrian Broner always looks for his opportunity to grab headlines and stay relevant. So I mean, I wouldn't put it past him or anything like that. But I don't know, man. He's right though. Lomachenko is one of those rare fighters that don't come around, like, I guess, too often. I'm not going to say he's going to be the greatest, but where he currently is right now, he's able to jump into the thick of things and still really show that he can compete. But I would definitely pick him, or I would pick Rigondeaux if they fought tomorrow. But
no, that fight, it would scare me because I love Rigondeaux and I don't want the curse to be real for real because I would have to pick Rigondeaux. But Lomachenko, he showed me last night that his power, it just lasts all 12 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And like Beeb said, the more he fights, the more he's going to get acclimated.
Oh my God, this kid's going to be nasty.
But I'm not mad at that because this is all I ask for. I need guys to prove why they say they're so good. Everybody. Gary Russell has been telling us he's great since the beginning of his career. And look, this is why I need proof. So I believe now. I believe.
Well, you asked me if Lomachenko would beat Rigondeaux, and I'm going to tell you, not now, but if you ask me that question 2 years later, I'm going to have to think about it. I'm definitely going to have to think about it.
Well, you're going to have to do a lot of thinking regardless because 2 years from now, Rigondeaux hopefully would have had a lot more fights. Hopefully he signs the Golden Boy and he fights a fucking Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton because Frampton is with Hearn and Golden Boy does promotions with Hearns. But let's take it out to the streets. Phone lines are lit up. Jim Grills, you're live. Where you calling from, brother?
It's your favorite Aussie here, man. I'm calling in from Brisbane, Australia.
What's going on, brother? Talk to us.
Did you get my tweet? I know you're upset about people calling in who didn't call in on the last show, but I just missed your show by a few hours. It's hard with the time zone over here, but I tweeted you through my my picks just after it, and you actually retweeted it. I sent you in a screenshot photo of it again, so I got my picks right, but I didn't get the method right on two of them.
It's okay. If you got them right, you pick Lomachenko is what you're saying?
Yeah. I picked Lomachenko for
I'm fucking checking this tweet
TKO,
right now.
but
I'm checking this tweet right now because I'm looking for all you guys that are just calling in to be.
Check it.
Well, I'm gonna shout out the people on the chat in the app. Nick Green just tweeted me, and I just checked the chat, and there were some people on the app, in the chat, the chat on the app that did pick Lomachenko. I know Nick Green was one of them. Nick, if you want to tweet me other people, I'll double check the app too and go back and look. But there were some people on the app that did pick Lomachenko as well. So I want to give the chat on the app a shout out. And once again, download the Box Boys app so you can see people's takes on fights in the chat on the app too as well. So it's kind of cool. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
James. James is your real name, or Jim. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. You did send me a screenshot, so you did pick him. And we will let you slide because you're in Australia, so I can see why it would be hard for you to call in Thursday night and make it official live on the radio. But you're up early in the morning catching the show now, and you hear the call. So, no crow for you, and I guess we got to congratulate you. You actually seen it for Lomachenko and TKO. That didn't happen. Tell me why you think it didn't happen after watching this fight.
Yeah, look, I think there are still little flaws in his iron out. I think, for one, I think I'm not a fan of his corner. Like, he was doing some vicious body work there, which was setting up great shots, and then his corner tells him, leave the body alone, target the head. Like, I don't know what was going on there. But I noticed there was, hang on, I wrote it down. There was round 5. Round 5 was, up until round 5, I gave every round to Lomachenko, but I thought round 4 was reasonably close. After round 5 was a pretty dominant round, and then in round 6, Lomachenko was really inactive. Like, he came back. It was still a reasonably close round. I gave it to Russell Jr., but I mean, he just came back really inactive. He had a couple of, not only did he give usually the minute away in a lot of rounds, the first minute, but he also, there's 2 times he had like a really good round, and then he'd come back and just be really inactive, and he was still using good footwork. He was being elusive in that, but he kind of just, I don't know what it was. But there's twice he had a really dominant rounds, then he'd come back the following round. Same with round 7, he had a strong round, and then round 8 and 9 were, he didn't do so much. He danced around, and he still landed. I think he landed more significant shots in every single round. I found it hard to give any rounds to Russell, to be completely honest. Like, I completely agree with what Beeb said about like what he was doing. It was just little flurrying arm punches, like to try and look effective and making silly noises and stuff. But I mean, he wasn't really doing anything. Like, he was getting countered all night. He was moving around. He was getting backed up, and then I don't know. There was nothing really.
It makes no sense when you throw a punch and you go because all you're doing is you're making yourself tired. You know what I'm saying? You're screwing up your breathing when you do stuff like that, and I just can't understand. I like Devin Alexander doesn't do that anymore, and I'm glad he got away from doing that, because when he was doing that, you could possibly attribute that for him fatiguing later in his fights too. There's just no need for that. Just breathe in and out. There's no need. Fucking, it gets ridiculous after a while hearing that for 12 rounds, man.
Jim, before we let you go, I got to get your pick on Gil Golovkin. You can't be in Australia not picking Gil.
No, mate. I'm going for Golovkin on this one. I do think that Gil is going to give it a really good crack, but I think that it might be, like with Curtis Stevens, where his stock went up after losing. I see Gil's a good volume puncher, and he is good, and I think he's Golovkin's best test yet, but I just think that he doesn't have the power or the real elusiveness to keep him at bay or not get hurt for full 12 rounds. I think he's going to throw a lot of punches. He's going to be giving him a good run for his money, but eventually that's going to wear down on him, and he's not some slick, elusive boxer that's going to avoid those shots constantly, and he doesn't have the power in his volume punching to keep Golovkin at bay for 12 rounds. Golovkin is still untested, and to a degree, but I mean, look at Macklin. He destroyed Macklin, and Macklin, went very close to beating Martinez until he got stopped. Macklin's no chump, and that's probably the best gauge to see where. I think if you put Macklin and Gil in together, I'd favour Gil in that fight, but I wouldn't think that they're on 2 completely different levels or anything. And Golovkin and Macklin were clearly on 2 different levels.
Yeah. Well, Jim, thanks for calling in. Congratulations, you got a trifecta there. You got them all right. I can't give you the trifecta. Trifecta would have been getting all right with the rounds and stuff the way that you attempted to. But thank you for calling in. I hope you've already left us a good 5-star review over on iTunes, saying that you're all listening in all the way from Australia, so that everyone else that reads that can see this is an international show. There's someone very dear to my heart on this chat today. Well, I don't know if he's in the chat. I mean, on this line. And I hope that when I play his introduction, he comes on, because he hasn't pressed 1 beat, but we haven't heard from this guy in so long that I'm hoping he's ready. You know who you are.
Remember me? I'm Stuart Little. I'm Stuart Little.
Stuart!
Yes.
Yo, turn the rap music off in the back room, my friend.
Hang on, I'm watching the football, hang on.
Oh, man.
I didn't realise I was in the queue.
Of course you're in the queue, and you heard me
Yeah, but I was
talking
just
about
Lynn,
you.
I can't remember pressing 1. How you getting there? It's alright.
Well, you didn't press 1, but I seen your name there, and I said, hold on, my friend from across the pond. I haven't heard from you in months. I had to go to you. I played your intro and everything. I thought you would be ready. I can't believe you. Such a disgrace.
Yeah, man. I've been struggling to get online for a few weeks. I moved into the countryside, but I'm back on now.
Yeah, your internet sounds like you live in the countryside, but listen, I know that you're only calling in because of Lomachenko, and you've been praising Lomachenko, and you got mad when Salido gave him a few kisses below the belt. So now you're calling in because I'm pretty sure you picked him last night, even though you didn't make it official, so we don't have to give you credit, but we know you.
You know I picked him though, don't you?
I know you did.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it'd happen. I mean, Gary Russell, he's all hand speed. He's got nothing else. I mean, half of them punches were just hot air. That's what they were hitting. I mean, Lomachenko was just a league above.
Uh-oh, that countryside internet got to us, guys. Let's take it out to the streets then. We got 832. You're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Do y'all have a big turnover rate? A lot of people get fired out there. They be bullshitting out there.
Yeah, you got to turn the radio off before you talk, brother, because we get feedback.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Hey, nothing, man. I picked Gary Russell also last night, so I'm eating crow just like everybody else.
Okay, hold on. Let me. How do you want it? You want it microwave, reheated? You want it heated up on the stove? We got baked crow. We got crow pie, man. We got everything you want.
I want my crow baked, man.
Well, there you go. Because there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us that got to eat this Maryland crow.
Yeah, that was up. Hey, but look, Guerrero ain't got nothing to hold his head on, man. He put on a gallant effort, man. He was just outgunned. Lomachenko is just that good. You know, Gary Russell brought everything he had to the table. He said he didn't follow the game plan, but the game plan was altered by Lomachenko. It's just that simple, man. Lomachenko is the truth.
I agree, man. Lomachenko, Gary didn't. He was outgunned, like you said. That was it. And again, well, I guess I can't even say even if Gary had the power because he was so ineffective, but. 832, thanks for calling in, brother. I hope you've already left us a 5-star review over on iTunes. Wait a minute, let me see, because you guys wait so long. Do you want to give your thoughts on Guerrero?
Oh, most definitely. That was Guerrero. I think Guerrero needs to step up and get another trainer, man, because he could have won that fight a whole lot easier than what he did, and I don't think his pops gave him the proper advice in the corner. You know. I just think he could have won a whole lot easier. But, Japan, they just like that fight with Omar Figueroa against the other guy. Those guys can take some punches, man. So you got to fight them guys different. You just can't go in there and just slug it out with them guys. Those guys can take punches. You just got to pick those guys apart the same way Devin Alexander did early in the fight against Soto Carras.
All right, brother. You guys, I want to tell you, he makes a great point. But I don't know if it was the trainer. I don't know if the trainer needs to be changed. James, let's hear from you because you've been MIA. But I heard Guerrero Sr. telling him, no, mijo, use the jab. You got to use the jab, double the jab. He can't fight you when you use the jab. He was begging Guerrero to use the jab and begging Guerrero to move and telling Guerrero to go to the body and slow him down. Was he lying here and there saying, yo, you got him, he's hurt? Yes, but that's to build confidence. My problem again, not only with the corner, because it wasn't the trainer, my thing, but whoever was doing the eye, like they didn't do the inswell again. Is it because it was cut? I mean, you're a trainer, tell me. Is it because he had a cut on the lid, so we can't apply pressure because we're risking to make the cut bigger? But this shit was swollen shut, and like the caller said, and I want to get all minds out because I know the both of you got to go. Like the caller said, this guy doesn't need to win these fights this way. Now, look, this motherfucker ain't going to be ready for how long now? This eye looks like that. It's got to cut. He's got to get stitches. It's got to heal. Now, how's he gonna fight Thurman? When? Fucking December of next year?
Yeah, and I just read an article saying that I think it was Ruben Guerrero, or no, it was one of the advisors of someone that works with Robert Guerrero. He said that if he wants to fight Thurman, or Thurman wants to fight with Guerrero, he has to first step up in class and beat Erislandy Lara to do it first. Then he'll get Robert Guerrero. That's boxing scene. Check it out on the boxing scene.
So you're saying that the manager, being Louis DeCubas Jr., said this to boxing scene?
No, let me see who it is. I'll look it up real quick so I get our facts straight.
Why would Thurman fight Lara? What the fuck is he talking about, man? Anyway, speaking of Guerrero, Judge Max DeLuca scored the fight 116-112, while Pat Russell and Tony Curbs both scored this fight 117-111.
That's what I had it.
Associated Press also scored it 116-112, as if you guys should care about the Associated Press. I don't know, guys.
I had it 117-111.
But when I see them at the fights, it's always a different guy or girl and a whole fucking crew of for photographers. That's for sure. They come deep to the fights, but I don't know. I would question their know of the game. But Beeb, I'm gonna give you my scorecard before I shut up with my ramble, and then you guys can take it away, because for Guerrero, Kamegai, I scored it 116-112.
I had it 117-111 actually, and I think Guerrero was trying to just go for the knockout. He hasn't scored a knockout in so long. He just thought that this was the opponent where he could get that knockout. And evidently he could not. But the thing is this too: when you hear fighters say, "Oh, I just want to make entertain the fans, whatever, want to make an exciting fight," I'm going to say something very controversial. To me, taking nothing away from both guys, because obviously I could never stand in there and do what they do and just take those shots like that. But I was watching this fight, and at one point I'm sitting there saying to myself, "What's going on here, man? I mean, this is like a street fight. This isn't even boxing. It's just like these guys are just letting each other, teeing off on each other and not really caring about getting hit." And I'm sitting there saying, this is not the sweet signs. And obviously, I know the majority of people are going to be like, "Beef, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? This was an awesome fight. This was exciting." But, when I looked at Guerrero, I was saying to myself, I know Guerrero can fight better than this. I know he doesn't have to get hit like this. And if he continues to fight like this, because this isn't the first time he's fought like this. The Berto fight was like this too, where his eye was closing in that fight. And we've seen in the Mayweather fight, he's just kind of going in there trying to brawl. I mean, at some point in time, you get so many of these wars, how long can your career last fighting like this? So you got to start thinking about your future. You got to start thinking about your life after boxing. And if you do have boxing skills, then you'd be a fool not to use them. Obviously, he's not a Sugar Ray Robinson or he's not a Sugar Ray Leonard, but he's definitely more refined than what he showed last night. And if he's going to continue to fight like that just so he can please the fans, I don't think that's smart, and number one. And number two, I think he's going to pay for it later in life. So I just don't understand why he did that. But I can understand why the Japanese fighter fought away, because that's the only way he can fight. And I take my hat off to him. I take my hat off to both men for being able to weather the storm like that, being able to put themselves through so much physical damage. But at the end of the day, Guerrero, why would you want to do that? I've seen him, when he fought Katsides, boxed a beautiful fight. I mean, I've seen him box people before. He has the ability to box people. He boxed Casamayor. He has the ability to box people. It just seems, as soon as he moved up to this 147-pound division, he wants to become a puncher now. And I just don't think he's as big of a puncher as he thinks he is. And I think, as his career progresses, he's going to pay for it if he continues to fight this way.
Yeah, man, I agree totally with you. When people say stuff like that, it's just it's a more of a ploy for them to I lost my train of thought. Shit, what were we talking about again? I forgot.
Guerrero basically fighting like a brawler instead of using.
Oh yeah. No, I think when fighters say stuff like that, it's just a ploy to get more fans, because it doesn't turn out the way they thought it was going to be. And to me personally, if you were going to put on a fight like for the fans, it would be like what Keith Thurman did with Diaz, where he just went out there and iced him real quick. You know what I mean? Like really dazzled for the crowd. Kept just fought really well. But I mean, I'm not going to hate on it. It was a good fight. Robert Guerrero showed a lot that, I mean, he always gets into these wars. When he was in there with Berto, that was a war. So the caller right before we started talking, I think he nailed it on the head. When I was watching this, I really thought it was similar to a welterweight version of Omar Figueroa and Arakawa. I liked it, man. I thought it was a real good fight. Robert Guerrero just wouldn't, like you said, he wouldn't follow instructions at all in the corner. He would just stay on the ropes a lot of times. He would go on the inside. He knew he had to keep this guy off of him using his jab. He needed to do certain stuff like that, but he just never really. I just think he couldn't hold Kamegai back. I think he just wasn't able to, run for all those times. Maybe the CrossFit affected him. Did you see anything last night that changed in, because he looked like standard Robert Guerrero against someone that just didn't want to go away, someone that just stayed in his chest. I didn't see anything drastically down from him, but I also didn't see anything better from him. I mean, what do you think about it? Do you think this CrossFit did anything for him?
Let me just tell you this. Obviously, CrossFit and you got these other strength and conditioning coaches who have their own programs. Those programs are designed to get you in shape, work on your stamina and your stamina and possibly your strength, your physical strength and stuff like that. And I don't think you could teach speed. You're either fast or you're not fast. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't teach you technique, doesn't give you strategy. A lot of the exercises that are laid out there are supposed to be sports specific. But at the end of the day, these guys are not boxing trainers. They're strength and conditioning coaches. So they're not going to make your boxing game any better. They're going to make you more conditioned. Now, if you take a guy who already has the foundation and just seems to be gassing out in fights, then obviously these guys are great to add to the camp. They're a great addition. But if a guy is going to solely base his strategy on the fact that I'm in shape and I'm going to go to war with people just because I feel good and I'm in shape, then that's not really going to be advantageous to their ring presence. It's not going to add any strategy. It's not going to make them any more of a better boxer than what they are. So at the end of the day, I think Paulie Malignaggi alluded to it. Yeah, I mean, this CrossFit basically is conditioning, and he did show last night that he was definitely in condition to do what he did. But is that what you want? Do you want a guy to just show you how great of a shape he's in, show you how much he can take shots, or do you want a guy who's going to showcase his skills? So it helped him in one area, but I don't think it helped him in the area that he needed help in, and that's his boxing, in my opinion.
See, I just didn't think he was in that great of shape, though, because, I mean, all that conditioning you're talking about, he stayed on the inside most of the time. He'd start to run a little bit, then he'd get cut off, and he wasn't able to go anywhere. I think that was just a matter of him not being able to, run for that long.
Being able to take punishment like that has a lot to do with being in shape, because, if your brain gets a steady flow of oxygen to it, then you're able to recuperate from headshots quicker. And in order for the oxygen to get to the brain quicker, your lung capacity has to be increased. So, a lot of people don't realize that being able to take punishment has a lot to do with being in shape. And Mickey Ward will tell you this all day. And he when he trained 5-minute rounds. He would take no rests. He would do circuit training. That's why Mickey Ward was able to take the punishment he took, because he was in such great shape. I think a lot of people overlook that. Being able to take punishment has a lot to do with your conditioning. That's why Floyd Mayweather, people think that, hey, he doesn't have a good chin or whatever, but he got caught with some great shots in his career. And I challenge anyone to say that if they got hit with those same 2 shots, by Shane Mosley, if they'd still be on their feet, because I know Antonio Margarito got hit with similar shots and he was not able to finish the fight. Mayweather took 2 of those shots and he was able to not get knocked out, where a lot of other fighters would have gotten knocked out. And you have to attribute that to Mayweather's conditioning, because we could say a lot about Mayweather, about skills, counterpunching, defense, whatever, but he's in phenomenal shape as well. Look at his physique at 37 years old. He's ripped to the bone, very low body fat percentage. And a lot of that is genetics, but a lot of that is just basically training hard too and living a clean life. So I just think people overlook conditioning, and they just think that it means stamina in terms of being able to throw a lot of punches and not getting tired, but it also has a lot to do with taking punishment.
So would you say you were impressed by him last night?
I was impressed by his conditioning. I was not impressed by the way he fought at all. No, absolutely not.
Okay, good. That's how I feel. I don't know. To me, he didn't rally. His stock didn't rise and his stock didn't lower. It's exactly where it was.
Well, he just made the other guy look good. That's all. He made the other guy look better. And you're not in there to promote the other guy, make the other guy look good, and worry about the other guy's career. You're worried about making yourself look good. And if you're a world-class fighter, you're a former champion, and you're getting hit with shots, you're getting hit with everything but the kitchen sink in a fight, I mean, with all due respect, that doesn't make you look like a world-class fighter. That just makes you look like a guy who's in the trenches and slugging it out. Now, in contrast, Marcos Maidana has been said to be a brawler, but let's not forget, he slipped a lot of shots from Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? He used some good head movement. He got down low. He was getting underneath a lot of Mayweather shots. Marcos Maidana, given his reputation of being a brawler and being a knockout artist, he's shown us some defense in these last couple fights. So that just goes to show you, just because you have a big punch and you like to slug it out, doesn't mean you can't be a little bit defensive savvy as well, which Maidana has definitely worked on and improved upon, and we possibly have to credit that to Robert Garcia. And we've seen guys that just haven't been able to develop in that area, but we have to give Marcos Maidana credit for being able to develop in that area. Maybe he always had it, but he didn't use it. I'm sorry, Ness, go ahead.
Now, I just want to take it out to the streets, man. Ephraim is calling in, and he's the guy that definitely picked Lomachenko, so he's looking to give his.
Introducing to you, Ephraim!
Yo. Y'all hear me?
What up?
Yo, man. This crow's gonna become an endangered species, man. Y'all keep losing, man.
Only Nats lost in the panel this week, though.
Dude,
only Nats did.
I'm the only one that picked Russell.
Ephraim, he was the only one. He was the only one that picked him. I don't know why you keep saying that the panel picked him. I don't. You got to watch the show, brother.
Yeah, the whole panel picked Russell.
No, they did not. I picked Lomachenko, James picked Lomachenko, and Vic picked Lomachenko. Ness was the only one that picked Russell.
17-5.
That's not the panel. Those are the callers, Ness. Those are the callers.
9-16, but that was callers included, man.
Oh, okay, my bad. I didn't know that.
Horrible.
All right, well,
I'm not trying to get on you or anything, but I don't know what I remember. Ness was the only one that picked him. I've been picking him since Lomachenko since the fight was announced, man. I said it right away. I just didn't think that Russell was going to beat this kid.
All right, well, I want to disagree with Ringside Robbie, because he says he don't like how Lomachenko's getting a shot at him and shit. Well, I mean, Lomachenko, whenever he signed the Top Rank, he refused, I think, $100,000 a signing bonus. In return, he just said, keep that, but give me a title shot in my first fight. And, he couldn't make it happen. But the thing is, I don't give a shit about that. We know boxing's dirty. We know there's paper champs, Canelo. Anyways, I mean, all we should care about is, do we see a name against another name? That's what we care about, because we know the titles are bullshit. And all it is our job to enjoy the good fights. That's all it is.
You have to be open-minded and objective about it. You just can't. Man, I'm gonna retract the statement that I said. I'm gonna contradict myself a little bit, because I sat there and said that when he was fighting Salido, his first fight, his second fight, title shot, whatever. I don't think he deserves it. I don't think he's ready. I think he needed more experience. Blah 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 blah. But he definitely shut my mouth and proved me wrong in that Salido fight, because he showed he belonged at that level. And Salido really took him to task in that fight. He kind of got a little bit rough and tough with him, and you could question the tactics, whatever. But regardless of that, it was still a razor close fight. I picked Salido, and I thought Salido won, but I had it 115, 113 for Salido, if I'm not mistaken. So given the fact that he proved he belonged in that fight, I think he deserved this second title shot, because again, he was in there with the proven, experienced champion, and he took him to hell and back. It was a close fight, and he finished the fight strong. So based off that, I mean, we have to make exceptions to the rule. We can't just apply this blanket theory to everything. We have to be objective, and we have to just look at each and every individual objectively and sit there and say, hey, you know what? Maybe this kid does deserve the shot, because maybe he is the goods.
With that, Beeb, here's another fact that I like. The fact is that, seeing his record, people look at his record, oh, he's 2-1. Kind of shitty-ass record is that? I mean, it forces us to look at the fighter instead of looking at his record. I mean, you got these dudes like the Argentine on BoxRec named Cesar Cunha. He got a better record than Mayweather, and look where he is.
Yeah, that's true.
And, I don't think Gary's no bum. I mean, I had the fight, I think 115, 113. That's what I had for Loma. And you know, it was a good competitive fight, but you know, scoring some of Gary's jabs, you know, it's around round 6 it started to be evident that he was just trying to keep him off, and he turned Lomachenko off, like he neutralized him, but he never hurted him. And then he started making noises round 6, you know, because he wanted to remind the judges, hey, you remember, I'm jabbing, this is what I'm doing. And then in round 8, you know, you could tell he wasn't hurting Loma anymore. And 10 more seconds, dude, and he would have knocked Gary Russell out. What y'all think about the closing seconds of the whole fight, the last 20 seconds? He was about to knock him out.
Well, I will say this: if we were back to the days of 15-round fights, I question whether or not if Russell would have finished that fight on his feet. But you know, getting back to a lot of the criticism of Russell, I just think that having these hand injuries, these bad hands, I just don't think he's going to be able to overcome that in his career, because he hurt both his hands, and you can just see that he's not confident in just throwing the punches. I think it's mental. I think part of it's mental. I think part of it's just subconscious. You know, once you hurt your leg or something, you hurt your hands, whatever, and you hurt them bad enough, you're just never going to be able to throw them the way you normally did when you weren't hurt. So, you know, going back to the Sergio Martinez knee, I hate to, you know, really curse the kid's career, but I just find it very hard to believe in my own mind if this kid's going to be able to turn it around and he's going to be able to really throw punches the way he wants to throw them with conviction. I just question that. I think it could burden him and be an albatross around his neck throughout the course of his career. I hope I'm wrong, but I was just watching the way he was throwing punches and just the way he was approaching the fight, and even watching him train hitting the mitts, and he's just like pop, 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 pop. It's not like pat, 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 pat. You know what I'm saying? And it's all well and good to do pop, 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 but you got to do a pat, pat, pat too. You know, you got to mix the pat, pat, pat in between the pop, pop, pops. And I don't think he's been doing that. So, you know, that's why he's so repetitious, because, you know, you like to throw a hard one in between the soft ones. It just seems like most of his shots are soft ones. And I think he needs to work on that. I don't think he'll be able to improve upon it because of the hands.
And that's funny you bring that up too, because on the last show I said that everyone's been talking about how he's going to knock out Loma, and I said he didn't have any power. And this is exactly what I saw last time too, because I believe it seemed like he was punching with more conviction before the hand injuries. And then I saw his comeback fight in the Fantasy Springs, and I kept saying, I was like, it looks like he's holding punches back because he's afraid of that hand. And that's exactly what I saw here.
I could see it, James. And it's like, shame. You know why? It's a shame because the kid is so skilled. Mm-hmm. But I just think that, you know, having those, it sucks. Paulie Malignaggi can definitely attest to this. Having hand injuries is probably one of the worst things in the world in boxing, obviously, because your hands are being, you know, they're the ones that are making contact the majority, you know, making the majority of the time in the fight. They're the ones that are doing the damage. They're the ones that are enduring the most pain in a fight because they're constantly having, you know, impact, you know, thrust upon them because you're punching a target. So it's just sad, man. It's really sad.
Hey guys, I want to try something real quick. Sweden, are you live? Could you hear us? Caller from Sweden, you called in last week. Do you hear me? It's not. All right. Well, he's trying to call in. I know you guys love this guy. I got all the tweets, but I guess he needs to know that you either need to call 646-478-3068 or go to blogtalkradio.com/theboxingvoiceradio, and there will be a Skype button there, and you can use your Skype to call in for free. Okay, people? 979, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? (979), you're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live, brother.
Hey, man, I just called to see what you guys thought of De La Hoya's interview. I mean, he kind of seemed like he was begging Mayweather a little bit.
I did get that impression, and I also got the impression that he's very good at avoiding the answers.
But no, real quick too, before you say anything, shout out to Showtime for allowing Brian Kenny or whatever his name is to ask those questions. I can't speak today, but I thought those were great questions, and those are questions that I wanted to know. And then he would say it, I'd be like, oh shit, he did ask that. He talked about Richard Schaefer. He talked about everything. It was awesome.
He didn't mention Al Heyman, which let me down, but it was reminiscent of Kenny Mayweather.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, it was. And I thought that De La Hoya seemed very nervous. I mean, he kept on saying full steam ahead, but I mean, he never, told us any steps he was taking to move the company forward as far as, what fighters he found out were signed to Golden Boy.
And Caller, that's why I disagree with you, because he was doing it so well. He avoided every single question. Which question did he fucking answer straightforward?
But it is business as usual. It is full steam ahead because take a look at the schedule. I mean, the fights are still going to happen. You know what I'm saying? The cards are still there, and whether or not these guys are officially signed to Golden Boy or not, they're still going to do business with Golden Boy because where else are they going to go? Why would they go to Top Rank? Why would they go to Gary Shaw if they're getting a good deal from Oscar? Business is business. Al Heyman's a smart guy. He's done business with Golden Boy for so long, and he's gotten his fighters exactly what he wanted from Golden Boy. He's not going to get that anywhere else, besides Golden Boy. If he tries to sit down with Bob Arum, you think Bob Arum's going to give Al Heyman what he wants, the types of salaries that he's calling for his fighters? Bob Arum and him don't even like each other. Like, Bob Arum doesn't even like Al Heyman. So what are they going to do? Go down the street and deal with Lou DiBella, Gary Shaw? I just don't think that this is going to be as bad as everyone thinks it is for Golden Boy. I just still think it's going to be business as usual, and they're going to hire a new CEO. I think it's going to to be fine. I'm happy. I'm happy.
The thing that the caller was trying to bring up was not if Golden Boy's doing business, but what was your impression of the interview? So
whether it be De La Hoya, whether it be Arum, whether it be anybody, no one's going to sit there and go in depth and tell you exactly what they're going to do. That's for behind closed doors. No one's going to show you their hand. That's just not bad.
Again, it's not what he's going to do. He asked De La Hoya live on national television, what happened between you and Richard Schaefer? And he got his way out of that.
I thought he answered the question fine. He said we had philosophical differences. He was going one way, I was going the other. It's pretty obvious that Richard Schaefer wanted a monopoly, and Oscar De La Hoya doesn't want a monopoly. It's pretty.
Well, the thing is, how do we know that De La Hoya is going to move the company forward? Everything that's happening so far is groundwork that Richard Schaefer had laid down with Al Heyman. What has he done? He never answered the question. What has he done to change?
Well,
he doesn't have to change. The company's fine the way it is. He's putting on big fights.
What you will see is a pro Golden Boy card, not including Schaefer, and that's going to be August 9th. And it does have Heyman fighters. It's going to have Danny Garcia. It's going to have Lamont Peterson. What was the third name that Showtime showed on their air? Called it a triple header, but I was
Danny Jacobs
to see Danny Jacobs is also on that card, but not Devin Porter. Porter Brook. What the fuck is going on with that fight? Why didn't they mention that fight? They said that was going to happen August 9th at the Barclays. Now we're getting Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, and Daniel Jacobs? What the fuck is going on? Again.
He's Heyman, but not Golden Boy, right?
Who?
Porter. He's Al Heyman, but not Golden Boy.
Yeah, but don't blame Oscar and don't blame Porter. I mean, Brooks pulled out of fights before. Maybe they couldn't come to terms. Who knows?
I'm not blaming Oscar.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying the general public.
I just want to know what the fuck happened. It's always something when you're fighting Kell Brook. This is what I'm saying. This is why I can't back this guy. I don't even know what happened. But my thing is, why is it that fights don't go smoothly with him? Why is it that you can't just fucking fight this guy?
I have no idea. It just seems, again.
I heard that Peterson is going to fight Judah.
I heard that too.
Going around is that he's going to fight Judah.
That's what I heard.
Obviously we all want to see Peterson fight Danny, which I don't know why Danny's not, taking that fight. If he believes he's the best, and I think he's really good. It's just I mean, what is it about not fighting Peterson? You know, why is he dodging Peterson, or why is Al Heyman not putting him in there with Peterson and putting him in there with soft touches? I mean,
because he's got two champions. I think it's that. I think, listen, hey, caller, and thanks for calling in. I hope that you left us a 5-star review because you're talking very eloquently, so you could definitely do it in text at iTunes. But I think that it's because he has two guys with two titles in that division, and he knows that one is leaving soon. Because we all know that Danny could beat Peterson. Is Peterson going to be a different style? Yes. Yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, Peterson's been down about 8 times in his career, and Danny can punch. So my point of saying that is this. Why risk Lamont Peterson to Danny Garcia when Garcia's going to take a whatever fight and get out of the division, and you still got that guy at 140 who can fight for those vacant titles later? That's what I think anyway.
That makes a lot of sense. But, I mean, to me, personally, if I was Danny Garcia, I'd be banging the drum to fucking unify that title.
Well,
I think he beats Peterson, too.
Lamont Peterson surely's banging the drum. I did an interview with him where he said, I want Danny Garcia. He wants the belts. I think this is Antonio, and he doesn't need to eat crow. I think he picked Lomachenko. 718, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? This might be QB.
Hey, yo, Ness, what up, though, man?
It is QB. Yo, you picked Lomachenko. Yeah, how you want it served? I mean, you picked Gary Russell. How you want it served?
Yeah, I want my crow, man. I call it eat my crow and all
Want
that.
some barbecue sauce on that?
Barbecue with extra sauce,
bro.
Yo, like I was saying, man, Guerrero and that dude, you know, I told you I don't like Guerrero. To me, Guerrero's the same dude like Rios and Paratnikov, a punching bag, man. It's only a matter of time he get exposed, I'm telling you. And then with everybody like Al Heyman protects his fighters, man. He had them fighting bums and be all over the boxing network saying Gary Russell 24-0 and same thing they did with Berto, man. Look what happened. Every time they step up to the plate, they get fucked up by good fighters, man. The same with Berto, and the same, you know what I'm saying, my nigga Broner, when he stepped up, when Madonna fucked him up. I mean, it's craziness, man. And then, you know what I'm saying, he always they protect the fighters, have everybody thinking they something, and then when they step up to the plate, that dude Lomachenko, man, he ain't no joke, man. He put the, the way he was doing the angles with defense, man, that dude, whatever he did in the amateurs, man, listen, everybody should watch out for that dude, man. That dude, when he fought Orlando, what's his name, Orlando
Toledo.
No way, of course he bullied him, man, like, but let him fight him again. He gonna whoop his ass, man. He'll whoop that dude ass. Like, I'm on, you know what I'm saying, I'm not on the bandwagon. I like Russell, but Russell, man, he didn't even hit him 10%, he couldn't even hit the dude, man. All that, that shit sound good and look good. But when you know what I'm saying, that shit ain't good, though. He was getting his ass beat up in there. Again, Al Heyman protecting the fighters, building them up for people that think they something and get beat up and then get beat up like Berto. Look what happened with Berto. Look what happened with Broner. And now Gary Russell. Come on, man. That's what I want to say, my brother. Oh, yeah. And Vic did call that out. He called Lomachenko, too, man. You know what I'm saying? But that, and then the same thing with Kevin Alexander. It's only a matter of time, man. These dudes, man, it's only a matter of time, my brother. They gonna get it, man. They all gonna get it, man. So you smoke on your stogie. I'm watching you smoking on your stogie right now, my brother. And I love y'all, man. And I got that. You check the 5-star review. It's Bounce QB. That's my thing I put inside. I read. I wrote some fly shit. How I feel from the heart. Word up. And thank y'all, man. I'll be listening, man.
All right, brother. I'm gonna say his review because I had it pulled up. That's fucking. I didn't even put it together that was him, QB. Yeah. So it comes from Bounce QB, which you just heard of, and the title is The Boxing Voice, and he's got 5 stars. And he says it's funny how you have a lot of wannabes trying to make sense when they talk about boxing, but not the boxing voice. The host Ness, Vic, and the boys James and Beeb know their boxing. And we call in and speak our minds, right or wrong. Me as a fan of the sport, I thank you guys for having this every Thursday and Sunday. Keep doing a great job, guys. Yo, shout out to QB, man. A man of his word. Went out there and left us a 5-star review, and it came from the heart. He's a guy that calls in and eats his crow, but he made a great analogy that kept going through my mind all last night, and he's right. It's Berto. This is exactly what happened with Berto. You got to remember, Gary Russell had an 8-rounder. First guy ever to have an 8-rounder on HBO. And then he was on HBO numerous times. Max Kellerman was singing the praise. Then he got on Showtime. He's been on Showtime Extreme. He's been all over. And now he headlined, well, co-main event, and he didn't live up to the hype.
And Lomachenko would be your Victor Ortiz then. Just went in there and fucking went to war with him. I don't know. I mean, I had it, to be honest with you. I forgot to start. Like, I didn't keep track of my score after like the second round, but I had Russell winning. I think to me it appeared Russell was doing better than what people are saying. I still think had like Loma at least up by like 2 or 3. But I personally didn't think that Russell looked that bad. Everyone's like bagging on him. I don't think he has any power, but I still think he gives people issues. Look at someone like Rasheed Warren. I think Rasheed Warren, when he eventually steps up to the plate, he's going to be similar to what Gary Russell is. Fast hands, no power. Because they're just focusing on trying to touch you up. I even said at last show that I thought this was going to be a high-end amateur fight, and that's essentially what he was doing. Lomachenko in there looked like the pro, and one of the commentators last night even said something about that. So, I don't know. It's just...
for the record, I'm going to give my score. I had it 113, 115 Lomachenko. And I wouldn't be mad if someone had it 116, 112. I don't know about 117, 111, but 116, 112, I think that's decent because I gave Russell 4 rounds, and it was tough. It was tough. It was just time that he was controlling the round just by activity, and Lomachenko would land 1 or 2 shots because there were some low points in that. And I want to bring up the fact that, again, just in case you guys only thought it was us telling you, more Beeb than anyone, because Beeb had to drill it into me. I didn't want to believe it. But it is a human being clicking a clicker, and Mauro Ranallo made mention of it last night by saying, I know that the show stats guy has to have blisters from all the clicking, from all the punching that was being thrown. So remember, it's a human being. Don't take these show stats and these CompuBox for everything. So all I'm saying, we got a bunch of callers, and you know, it's all Matt's fault that you still don't have an intro. I'm just saying. Wood, you calling in? What's going on, brother? Talk to me.
What's going on, man? You know who I picked, right?
You picked Russell because you from Baltimore.
You know I ain't picked no motherfucking Russell, man.
You picked Russell.
You know I picked Lomachenko.
You picked Russell because you from Baltimore.
Hey man, look, go, hey Ness. You know I didn't pick that motherfucker, man. You know I didn't. I didn't pick that motherfucker.
You told me.
No way.
You told me. Gary Russell's
you could go back and listen to. Hey yo, Vic was on there. I said Homochenko. I did not pick Russell. I said he was a bum. I did not pick him. Beeb was on there. Ask Beeb who I picked.
Wood, you told me he's from Maryland.
Ask Beeb who I picked. Beeb is right. Ask Beeb who I picked.
That's part of DMV.
I did not pick that motherfucker.
You said he down with the DMV. He was cool with you.
I ain't say shit about that motherfucker down no DMV, man. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't say nothing about this motherfucker. I ain't pick him. You know I didn't pick that motherfucker.
I'm about to give you a crow. Hold on. Here, go your crow. Nah, I know you fucking picked Lomachenko. I'm fucking with you.
Why you styling on me, man?
I had to show you, man, that I can push it.
Man, goddamn, man, you always in control and shit with that fucking always cutting motherfuckers off, man. Hey, this nigga, that's why I like what Lomachenko did. I like what he did, man, because you can fuck your career up by fighting. You can fuck your career by fighting these nobodies, man. It's best to go ahead on and test yourself test yourself out, man, and try to move up and see where you at instead of keep fighting a whole bunch of nobodies and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think Lomachenko, he had faith in his skills, man. I don't think Gary Russell fast either. Man, if I go out there and fight a whole bunch of motherfucking drunks at the bar and I knock these motherfuckers out, nobody gonna be saying how fast I am. He fighting a whole bunch of bums, man. Then people come on how fast he is, man. Fuck him, man. And I don't go by that shit, who living on my way and all that dumb shit. I don't give a fuck about that. DMV and shit. I worry about what's going on with Wood. But I
don't know, man.
And you know another motherfucker ain't shit. And like I said, my boy Alexander was gonna beat Alexander, my man.
Yeah, he about
and
to
that
get
motherfucker
exposed.
Huh?
Keith Thurman would fuck him up, dog. I mean,
yeah,
yo, Alexander
Keith Thurman
went
fuck
to
a lot
war.
of people up.
Yo, Alexander went to war with Jesus Soto Carras. He went to war.
But what happened with Carras? What happened with Berto for it? He beat Berto. He beat Berto.
Yeah, and we just finished putting Berto in the same category as Gary Russell, as guys that can't step up.
Yeah, Alexander beat most of his motherfucking fights. I'm saying you fucking fronting on a nigga that win most of his fucking fights. Yo, where the logic at in that, man? He win most of his motherfucking fights.
Versus who?
He only
Versus
lost
guys he's supposed
fights.
to beat? Versus guys he's supposed to beat, but he never beat the guy he ain't supposed to beat.
Who the fuck is that? He beat Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley is a good motherfucker. Tim Bradley might go in the fucking Hall of Fame.
No, I'm talking about Berto, man, because you brought up Berto.
Oh, Berto ain't man. Berto, he one of the motherfuckers. Al Heyman. He an Al Heyman project, man. He an Al Heyman project, man. I believe, man, you can go 30-0 with Al Heyman on our motherfucking side. Al Heyman the wizard, man.
I wish Al Heyman would let me go 30-0. That's all I need, man. I'll be set.
Yeah. And you know who ain't gonna go far? That motherfucking Guerrero. I picked Guerrero, but man, he going down, man. He ain't shit. He don't have the concentration to box for. He can't box for 12 rounds. He cannot box for 12 rounds. He easy get lured into slugfest and shit. He's not going far, and he don't want to fight. He's scared of shit of Thurman. All these motherfuckers ducking Thurman, man. All of them ducking. Nobody want to fight him. But
they asked him about Thurman. They asked him about Thurman in his post fight, and he said, "Oh, who's that? I'm gonna see him on theater." Or some dumb shit he said. That shit was so dumb.
He said Thurman got to beat somebody to get to him. He said Thurman got to beat somebody that he know to get to him. Some shit like that.
No, it was Bob Santos, and it was his Guerrero's co-manager or whatever like that. But he said that he had to beat Laura to get to Guerrero. He had to move up to 154 and beat Laura, then they'll fight.
You know who I want to see? You know who I want to see fight? I want to see James Boy, the Algerian fight against Herrera. That'd be a good fight.
That'd be a good boxing match, but I think people complain about that. I'd probably pick Algeria in that, to be honest with you.
Algeria Herrera, I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
That'd be a good box. I picked Herrera. Who you got, James?
I would go with Algeria.
I know that. I'm just fucking with you. I knew who you was gonna pick. I know you love Algeria, man. Hey, I'm gonna ask you something. That's because you gotta kind of skip me the last time. Hey, why you keep thinking that Oscar's so? Why you keep thinking that Oscar's so fucked up, man? Why you think Oscar's so fucked up? Why these motherfuckers need Oscar more than Oscar need them?
I don't think he fucked up. I just don't want Heyman to leave. I don't want Heyman to leave.
What you say that again?
I said I don't think he's messed up. I just don't want Heyman to leave because it's going to rip apart his stable. I want him to stay with all the fighters that he has so we could keep watching him. I just want to watch it.
Yeah, but check this out, though. Check the move out. Where is Heyman Lee? Where is Heyman going at? If Heyman Lee Oscar, where's he going?
Man, you sound like
going
Beeb
nowhere
right now.
Huh?
You sound just like Beeb. You sure you ain't hear Beeb say that 20 minutes ago?
No. I don't subscribe to what Beeb talking about. Beeb in his own world, man. I got my own thing going on. His own world.
Hey, Wood, man, let
But
me get to some callers, man.
where all these fighters and all these managers and all these where all these motherfuckers are going if they don't fuck with you? Either gonna fuck with unless you take your ass overseas, either you gonna fuck with Golden Boy or you gonna fuck with that motherfucker old ass. And you gonna fuck with those two motherfuckers run boxing in the States, man. You gonna either fuck with or you gonna go to a lower level and start fucking with them other motherfuckers in the casinos and shit. You gotta fuck with Golden Boy. Unless you gonna start fighting in casinos, you gotta fuck with those two. Those the big boys, man. They the big boys we got, man. Eva Floyd, Don King and shit. He played out, man. He ain't nobody fucking with him no more. He ain't putting on no big fights.
Hey, Wood, let me get to some callers, Wood. Let me get to some callers here, man. Don't go away. You know I'm gonna come back to you. 773. This might be Tony.
We did all.
773. You're live. Who's this?
Yo, what's good?
Tony.
Yo, what's up, man? How you feeling?
All right.
All right, man. The only thing I want to talk about was, Lomachenko. That dude is a beast, man.
Yeah.
Let me talk first. I believe that there's an exception to every rule. I know there's a lot of people who don't like the fact, like Robbie, he don't like the fact that Lomachenko got a title shot for 2 out of his 3 first pro fights. But the dude is a real dude, man. The dude is tough as hell, man. That dude is a real, true boxer puncher, man. And I think Paulie, Paulie and Morrow, they made an observation that even though Gary Russell had over 20 more professional fights than Lomachenko, that Lomachenko looked more like the polished professional fighter. This dude is tough, man, and I want to see this dude against Rigo. I want to see this dude against Donaire, especially. Those are the fights I want to see, because, like I said, he proved himself to me. He proved himself against Mr. Tough Guy Orlando Salido, who came in like a welterweight last fight and had Salido backtracking. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to say. Oh, and another thing I wanted to do real quick, I'm going to let you guys go, but as far as the Algieri Ruslan fight, I wasn't able to really get through last week, but I wanted to say that I was shocked, and I know James is there and Beeb is there. I want to know if they were surprised at Tom Schreck's scorecard. I mean, given Algieri, I think he gave Algieri 118, 110, or I forgot what it was. But if they were surprised in Tom Schreck's scorecard, because Tom Schreck, if you remember, on the Malignaggi-Broner fight, he had Broner winning 117, 111. And I was really surprised that Schreck gave Algieri, I think it was the same score, 117, 111. And I wanted to know what was the real difference. I just be honest, man. I'm not a fan of Algieri, I mean, I don't want to break nobody's heart out there, but I'm just not a fan of his style at all. And like, I wanted to get your opinion on that, man. Like, what did I miss, man? Like, I think that Ruslan, he was pressuring Algieri. You know what I'm saying? Algieri was unloading, man. I'm not going to lie, but, I mean, I'm just not a fan of his style at all.
What is it that you don't like about his style?
He just runs too damn much. I'm just sorry, man.
What about all the punching that he does?
Yeah, but the thing is, he you know what?
Sound like a hater right now.
I'm not a fan of that.
You sound like a real hater.
Look at Lomachenko, man. That's a fighter, man, right there. That's a boxer puncher right there, Lomachenko.
Yeah, well, Algieri doesn't have the power of a Lomachenko, so he's not good because he can't knock him out.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Look I mean, he did what he had to do. He fights the way he has to fight, and I'm not mad at him for that. I'm not expecting him to stand in there and trade. I'm just saying I'm not a fan of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that style, man. And I think Ruslan won that fight. You know, if you could constantly chase the dude down, man, it was just like exhausting watching it, man. I couldn't, man, dude, I was tired watching that fight. Just as a fan, man, I was like, dude, I'm just not a fan. I'm sorry, man. You know, like I said, there's a lot of Algieri love out there now. But I like I said, dude, I'm just not a fan. I mean, like I said, standing there and trade. Look at Lomachenko, man. 3 pro fights, dude. That dude looks so polished right now, dude. Look at. I'm not saying he's gonna beat Rigo, but there isn't another featherweight I could see giving Rigo a better fight than Lomachenko right now. Can you think of one?
I can't. That's the fight. That's actually the fight that I want to see. But Tony, let me get to some other callers, brother. Thanks for calling in. You already know, man. You're alumni. Like this.
With the blood of a Scottish warrior coursing through his veins, this man proclaimed,
I fucking love boxing.
MV2.
Hey, what's happening?
Would you like me to eat a personal slice just for you of crow?
Yeah, go for it, mate. A big slice.
There you go. You were right, my friend. You finally.
What the fuck were you thinking, this?
What?
Gary Russell. Gary Russell. Oh my God, what a bum. I've never seen so many arm punches in my life. He was just throwing punches and they weren't even coming close to landing. It was like he was climbing an invisible rope when he was throwing punches. Not even close to landing on Lomachenko's face. And I mean, people had it close. I gave Russell one round, the 9th round. Apart from that, like, he didn't land a single punch of note.
Wait, you gave him 1 round?
I gave him 1 round, the 9th round.
That was me hanging up on you, but you lucky I love you. That I was gonna hang up on you. That's all you was gonna hear. Don't be saying 1 round.
Tell me which round it won. Tell me which round it won.
I got 4 rounds for Russell, man. I'm gonna tell you.
Which round?
Hold on. I'm gonna pull
Come on, man.
Card. Pulling up my card. Calm down, man. Calm down. You're so aggressive, man. Take a chill pill.
I'm sorry, bro.
Do you have a scorecard, my friend?
Yeah. I gave Lomachenko every single round except the 9th round.
I gave Gary Russell the 4th round. I gave him the 6th round. I thought that Lomachenko took a lot of time off in that round. I gave him the 8th and the 9th and the 3rd. Those are my 4 rounds.
That's unbelievable. I can't believe that. I respect your opinion.
What rounds did you give Gary?
I didn't give any because I only scored the first 2. I just got so wrapped up into the fight, I just forgot about fucking scoring like a bum.
I wish Beeb would have been here because he's honest, man. He's not the only honest one, but he's honest. He doesn't care when he's wrong or right.
I gave my first 2 to Lomachenko. That's all I got.
You know, you guys touched on it. Al Heyman, he can't build a fighter. Berto, Russell, Adrian Broner. There's countless others, man. For whatever reason, he matches them very soft and then he puts them in too deep. And there's no transition. You know, say what you want about...
Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe that's how he looks at it. Like, look, I set you up. You should be able to take care of yourself. If now that you're in the hot water, you don't like the way it feels. You lost this fight. You should have enough money. You lost this fight and you want to continue the way Seth Mitchell did. I'll put you back in the hot water, and it's up to you.
Yeah, but you don't want to put them in the hot water nose deep. You want to just put a little toe in it first, and then the shin, and the knee.
Let's be honest. Berto wasn't put in nose deep, and neither was Broner. Gary Russell, he went in, if you want to call 24 wins nose deep, because he should have been ready. He should have been ready. And again, I don't think that being ready was even the problem. He didn't have the power. He could not hurt Lomachenko. Lomachenko's foot movement, everything was just fucking him up tremendously. And that body work, this dude was throwing boulders to Gary Russell's fucking lower body. He was killing him to the body. It's true what the caller said. I don't even know why his fucking trainer told him stop going to the body. They could have got a stoppage. He would have took a knee.
I totally agree. But I've really kind of had to consider how strong Lomachenko punches now, because I'm a full-blown homosexual. No, I'm a homosexual man, but
a lomosexual?
Vaseline homosexual.
Oh,
that's what they call it. But but his punching power, he hit him so many times flush to the body. But Gary Russell was still climbing the invisible rope in like the 10th, 11th, 12th round. It made me kind of question.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, MV2. First of all, don't discredit Lomachenko's power, and secondly, you gotta give Russell credit. Is what I'm saying. Like, all right, I didn't think that Lomachenko would win, but clearly he proved his elite. Well, I guess we can't call him elite yet because Russell is Russell, but he definitely proved his world-class talent. And he demonstrated that. And Russell was able to stay in there. Ineffectively so, but he was able to stay in there. He controlled some of those spots of those rounds just by sheer high activity. He was missing though. But I don't think Russell's a bum at all. I need to see him versus another puncher and see what he does this time when he can't get rid of his man the way that he's accustomed to.
What do you think about him and Javier Fortuna?
Fortuna's too wild, so we might not learn what we need to learn because he's so wild. I could see him getting countered easily.
Yeah, because I can almost see that's exactly where Loma would probably go to, because if he was like beating the drum for what, Mikey Garcia or whatever like that?
Who?
Anyway. Fucking, what's his name? Javier Fortuna was saying he wanted Mikey Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
Capture a title and then go up?
No, that makes sense, though. He's at 130. I thought you were saying Lomo was about to jump up already. I'm like, damn.
Well, who am I thinking of then? No, that's exactly what happened, though.
If you're saying Fortuna, it makes sense because he fights at 126, 130.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Lomo might fight at 126, but he hasn't yet said I'm moving up to 130. So if he would have moved up, like, oh, I just won this title, I'm not even gonna defend it, I'm gonna go fight Mikey, I would say, damn, this dude he's a badass man.
Oh no, I was talking about Fortuna said that about fucking Mikey Garcia. But I think that Fortuna's gonna get a shot at Lomachenko. They're both on the top ranked side. It'll probably work out that way. That's what I'm seeing anyway. He's not gonna fight Abner Mares unless Abner Mares is trying to sue his way out of Golden Boy, right?
Abner Mares, I don't know, man. The word was that he was signed with Heyman. So, like I said, if August 9th has 3 Heyman fighters, I don't see why Abner Mares is, he's probably just wants to be managed by Heyman and get out of the Espinoza contract, but nothing to do with Golden Boy.
Okay, well then anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna work. But I see Lomachenko and Javier Fortuna in the near future. Johnny Gonzalez too. That'd be a good one. If they could work that out.
Yeah, but Johnny Gonzalez is gonna fight Arce in Mexico.
Really? Where did you see that at? You saw that?
I forgot, but yeah, do a Google search. It should come up.
No, fuck that. I hate that fight. Jorge Arce should stop fighting years ago.
Well, it's because Johnny Gonzalez isn't signed to anybody. I don't think no one has options on him or anything, so he can do what he wants. And Arce, after he lost that last televised fight, he was no longer with Top Rank. So he just won a fight in Mexico. So they're like, fuck it, let's just get this Mexican money.
I guess. I don't know. I think you could fight Gennady or that Gradovich guy, the Mexican-Russian kid. I think that'd be a good fight. He'd be able to unify the titles. I think there's fights out there. I don't know, man. We got to figure out, I guess, what's going on with Golden Boy and their fighters.
So, MV2, man, did you come in your pants last night?
How did you know? See, when it comes to boxing days, I'm a fucking weirdo. I stay up till 3, 4 in the morning. Usually in my underwear, eating fucking shitty food. trying to keep one eye open just to watch the boxing, man. I'm fucking weird as fuck when it comes to boxing, man, and I fucking love this game. I fucking love boxing. I just want to say, just before I go, 'cause I know you've got a bunch of calls, Ringside Robbie, I don't hate the guy. I don't know why everybody does, even though Ringside Robbie called me MTV2. MTV2 Robbie. But I love him. I like the guy. I think he makes some good points, and just leave the fucking guy alone, man. You might have a difference of opinion, but you don't need to fucking call him names and shit, know what I'm saying? And shout out to Robbie. If he wants to come under my wing, I'll take him under my wing. It's a big wing, but I don't hate you, Robbie. You're a good guy.
I agree, MV2. People need to stop, man. This is where we get together to talk boxing. We don't need fucking racist comments. We don't need name calling. I mean, it's always good here and there to get somebody all riled up the way I did Wood, but I think we need to learn to respect one another and do it in good fun. But damn, it's just
exactly,
too many
man. It's
people.
a big family, mate.
Sure is, man. But TMI, my friend, we don't want to know that you're watching boxing in your underwear, my friend. 513, you're live on the Boxing Voice. MV2, I'm just kidding, man. Tell me anything you like. 513, talk to us. 513, going once. Going twice. I'll come back to you, brother. Don't have to hang up. 702, Robert Ortiz in the flesh. What's going on, brother?
Listen, man, I haven't been on in a very long time. Let's get the soundbite ready, dude. I'm ready for a fucking buffet, dude. I gotta eat crow from like 3 fucking weeks back all the way up to fucking last night, dude. Let's hear it, man. Miguel Cotto versus Sergio Martinez. Let me get that crow. Let me get it. Ugh, that is bitter, and it is gone stale now. But all right, I'll just touch real quick on that because I didn't really want to call in. That's old now, but I fucked up, man. I fucked up. I'm the one who started all the controversy over 30%, 40% Sergio. Well, let me tell you, dude.
Did he cut off for you?
Stewart. Stewart, you there? .602, you're live.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
All right, guys, we're back. I don't know. We had some technical difficulties here. Of course, it won't be a show without one. 602, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Yo, what up, man? Yo, come back to me here in a little bit, man. I'm going to say something.
All right, brother. Let me see what we got. What we got 10 to 11. You're live on the Boxing Voice.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on? Talk to me.
Hey, man, I just kind of, I had to come in and have you eat your crow.
You want a personal slice just for you?
I want a personal one, man. I just also, I also wanted to say just a little comment in terms of, on experience. Experience only matters if you can make it count, man. That's basically it. And also, just wanted to say that for next week, Gamboa is gonna fuck up Crawford, man. I'm sorry, but you're gonna get that one wrong too.
Nah, my friend, that is when the curse will end right there.
Nah, man, your streak is over. And just anybody who picked Karras over Devin Alexander, you guys are fucking stupid, man. That was the worst pick ever, man.
Yeah, Nelta hasn't called in for that one yet.
Yeah, fucking make everybody a crow for that shit, because that was just the dumbest. That was the worst pick ever, man.
Yeah, man.
But that's all I got to say, man.
All right, brother. But thanks for calling in, man. Let me see. We got 310. You're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? 310. You're live.
Hey. How's it going, man? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I had the pleasure of being at the fight last night, man. I was shocked. I wasn't real familiar with Lomachenko. But, man, he got in there and he did his thing, man. I was rooting for Russell, and he got schooled. I was like, wow. I was really impressed with the cat, man. Like I said, I wasn't familiar with him really prior to the fight. I think that was like, his third pro bout. I'm not sure how he got a shot at a title fight that quick, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, but now I see why he got the shot, The boy, he got skills, man. He got skills. He had great ring generalship. He was going to the body, He worked the body. He was in and out, catching him with great shots. He actually hurt him a couple times, man. And Russell just didn't have no answer for it. I was like, man, a 24-0 fighter. It's like he couldn't change gears. He couldn't adjust. He couldn't adapt. He couldn't cut the ring off. He got schooled, dude. He got schooled. So now I'm kind of worried about Crawford against Gamboa now. I'm hoping, man, I hope my guy don't get dead like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think. Listen, Crawford. People give Lomachenko all the credit that they give because of his amateur background. Well, Crawford beat a lot of these guys in the amateurs. A lot of them. Garcia, both of them.
From what I understand, I'm not sure, but from what I understand, Lomachenko had about, he's a 2-time gold medalist. He had 400 amateur fights. I think he won 390 of them, 396. So he has a thorough amateur background, but amateur and pros are not the same thing. I thought Russell would be able to get in there and school him, seeing how he got 24 pro fights. And it just didn't happen like that. I was shocked. I was shocked.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Russell fought 24 nobodies, bro. Like, we all knew that. We all wanted Russell to step it up. We had him on this show, and we was grilling him. And when he said he wanted to fight Juan Manuel Lopez, we like, why? He just got knocked out. He just wanted a name. We always wanted him to step it up, but we just thought he had the potential. We seen him beating up bums, but doing it really good, so we thought he could possibly do it, you know. And those that picked Lomachenko, they knew Lomachenko could do it because of the extensive background. But, you know, don't feel bad you picked Russell or that he let you down, but don't think that the 24 wins mean anything.
But you know what? I went with Russell, and I'm going to be honest with you. I went with Russell more so because I knew nothing about Lomachenko. You know, now that I've seen him, I actually became a fan of Lomachenko while I was there at the fight. You know, I knew nothing of this guy. I've heard his name only because of this fight. And, like, where's this guy from? He's from the Ukraine. Okay, I'm finding out stuff while I'm there because I actually was sitting next to some of his trainers' peoples. So they were talking to me and telling me a lot about him, but I had no idea who this guy was. I've never seen him fight before, so I didn't know his skill level. So that's more so why I was going with Russell, because I knew nothing about Lomachenko. But now that I've seen Lomachenko, oh, wow, dog. He can get in there with anybody you want to. That guy, he got skills. And I'm a fan of him right now.
Yeah, man. And by the way, brother, it's Lomachenko. Lomachenko. Look at me giving somebody pronunciation.
I didn't know how to say the name, so I didn't want to just brutalize his name, so I just said Lomachenko.
Don't worry about it. It's actually ironic that I'm the one giving you pronunciation advice because I can't pronounce half these these guys' names. But thanks for calling in, man. I do want to say that he, you know, speaking of Lomachenko, whatever. There's so many Chenkos these days. Shinchenko, Lomachenko, the guy that fought Saturday, Dudachenko. Like, how many fucking Chenkos is it over there? Jesus. 443. You're live on the Boxing Voice. What's up? Who's this?
Yo, that's the Slug, man, from West Baltimore.
What's going on, Slug?
What's
Talk
up,
to
man?
me.
What's going on? I ain't talked to you in a good minute, man. They changed my work schedule. Now I'm back. I watched that fight with Lomachenko and Gary Russell too, man. I was rooting for Gary Russell, but he just ain't had no. He's just throwing shoulder punches, man. He wasn't stepping into the punches. If he would have stepped into his punches a little more, then he would have caught Lomachenko a little more and actually been out of range. And if he, just threw a 1-2 and then tied him up, he kept going to this guy's range, man, and wasn't moving his head enough. I said, man, what the hell you throwing all the punches out there? It's like somebody got a broomstick out there. He just ducking all your damn punches.
Yeah, man. It was kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, it was hard to watch. And then he got hurt in the later rounds because he had never been 12 rounds either. Gary Russell. Never done 12 rounds. But I watched Lomachenko. I watched him in his first debut fight when he lost. When he lost his first debut fight, when he was trying to go for a title, trying to go for a belt, and it didn't work out for him because he was in there with a better polished veteran that basically gave him a lesson. But he got in there with Gary Russell, man. I thought he would have a little more ring generalship and experience, but I guess not, because he's been in there, I guess, with 24 bums, but before that previously. And hey, who was that one in there that called Gary Russell a bum? Was that MV2?
Yeah, that was MV2.
Man, how the hell he gonna have a nerve to call anybody from America a bum when Europe is known for having the capital of Europe. You know, and I said, yeah, you know, and then they talk about the word is bad. I'm not bad in the word. Because hey, it is what it is. Black is black, white is white, green is green, blue is blue. And Euro bums are Euro bums. That's where most of them come from. They got a couple of them. Most of them come out of the Ukraine, the good ones anyway. Most of the good fighters from over there come out of the Ukraine. So, you know, he riding a horse is dick. He don't even really know too well. Now I'm a Lomachenko. I said, what the fuck, man? This dude is really fucking tripping, dude.
Oh, man. Snug, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get to some other callers, brother. Thanks for calling in. I know MV2 is gonna have an earful when he listens to the podcast.
Real quick, Ness.
Yeah.
Anytime I try to, hey Ness.
Yeah.
Jim. Hey, anytime I try to log on Blog Talk to you know, to put my name on the guest, it won't let me do it.
No, you got to use Skype. You see where it says call in, there's going to be a Skype button there. Just click that Skype button.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, fellas.
All right. Nacho in the box. You're live.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on? Talk to me.
All right, I got a couple questions for you. First question off bat. How would you feel about a Kamegai Ruslan Provodnikov match? And second question is, why would somebody have almost over 400 fights in the amateurs and only have like one loss? Like, wouldn't you think after 200 amateur fights you would go pro? Even if you win in all of them, so it's not like you losing. I just want to know why you would stay in the pros or in the amateurs that long before you turn pro.
I think it's more because of the gold, man. And remember the sponsorship. When you win Olympic gold, you get offered all types of endorsements. McDonald's wants you, man. Coca-Cola wants you. That we're talking real money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even follow other sports, but doesn't LeBron have like a huge sneaker contract like that? This stuff comes from the Olympics.
Yeah, most other sports, the highest paid players aren't the highest gross income players don't make a lot in their sport. They make most of their money out of sponsorships.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. But my first question was, how would you feel about a Kamegai Ruslan Provodnikov match?
I mean, I would like Ruslan to stay at the weight that he's comfortable at, which is 140. I don't really want him to jump up.
No, okay. Yeah, no, we were watching a fight last night, and I just watching Kamegai fight. I just thought it would be an interesting matchup for Ruslan. I know he's a weight class below, but I just thought maybe, you know, in the future, if he keeps getting whooped at his weight class, why not try to move up or something or do something?
Well, the thing is this, Kamegai might have this knockout ratio or whatnot, but if you watch that fight last night, I mean, he has no technique at all. Like, so if he's gonna knock you out, it's gonna be a lucky punch because he damn sure doesn't know how to fucking throw a punch. I mean, yeah, he did good. He landed a nice uppercut, and then he followed up with like 3 right hooks. But look at all the damage that he had to take just before he could start actually exchanging. He had to take all these shots to get inside to finally hit Guerrero to the body to slow him down. Like, that was just too much punishment. It was an Arakawa. Yeah. It was like watching the big version of Arakawa.
I felt like that's true, but I felt like if he had more head movement, I guess, in the first like 3 or 4 rounds and didn't just come with his head straight up, like he probably would have been able to last longer, or not last longer. He probably could have swayed the judges in those first few rounds, because I felt after like maybe 3 or 4, not necessarily technique-wise, but they were both not showing much technique or defense to me. They were just kind of getting inside and doing what they can inside. So I thought maybe, you know, if Kamegai could do that with like a Provodnikov, it would be an interesting fight, a fun fight, really, not necessarily like technician fight.
I mean, I mean, if you want it, I hope they make it for you. But you know, there's a lot of people that Ruslan could fight. You know, hopefully that was his last fight with Top Rank, and he could probably get in the ring with some other people at that 140. You know, Hank Lundy's out there. You got Lamont Peterson. You know, you got Danny Garcia, Herrera. Look, Johan Perez is going to be on Showtime pretty soon, so he's there. You got Pistola. I mean, it's just a bunch of names. So I just want to see him, you know, back in the ring.
Yeah, I do too, but I just feel like at that weight class, like, or not that weight class, but that competition, he's, you know, a couple of those guys he's already lost to. So I just feel like, you know, he's just gonna get outboxed unless he can get in there and fight like a Bradley type again or something, or somebody that wants to throw with him. But I feel like after the Herrera and Algieri fights, nobody's gonna go in there with the mindset of throwing at him. They're just gonna outbox him every time.
You make a good point, brother. It's possible, but I don't know.
All right, thanks, man. I just got a couple questions on it. Good show today too. I like it.
Thank you, brother. Is that it? No more?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to know why he would stay in the amateurs for so long, because I just hear Lomachenko, they keep talking about him like he only has 3 fights in the pros. So I just want to know why people discredit the amateurs so much, but he has so many. And I thought maybe if you stayed in there so long, it was because he was winning, and he, you know, like my initial thought, I didn't even think about the sponsors or the golds or anything. I thought like he just didn't feel like he was ready, so he just kept fighting the amateurs. I didn't think about the sponsors.
No. Look, I don't think that's it, because, you know, dude, he won 396, they said. I think that's what I heard last night. Like, after winning 100 straight, you know, why continue? He had to be continuing for financial reasons, or he's one of those guys that, you know, wants to make history, and he won 1 medal and he said, fuck it, let me do it again. I don't know, but I can tell you this. They are not sponsored going through that shit, you know. So he had to pay for all the training and all that for all those fights. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming it's endorsements. It has to be endorsements.
Yeah.
Or again, that they just hold that gold medal with such high regard that you would put yourself through 8 years of that shit.
And why don't they count the WSB matches as professionals if they're not wearing headgear? Well, I mean, what makes it not professional?
When the WSB first started, they had took off the headgear. I don't know what was the official reasons, and I'm using air quotes, but it was basically to make it more appealing to the casual fan. But it was stated in contract that these fighters, win or lose, these wins or losses would not count to their pro career. So all these fighters went in with that in mind, thinking these were just amateur fights, because that's what it was being billed at. So certain sanctioning bodies, certain commissions, they actually give credit. Like, for instance, Rashid Warren, his WSB bouts are on his pro record. Terrell Geisha, his wins and losses are on his pro record, but Lomachenko's are not. But Nacho, I'm going to get to some other callers, brother. Thanks for calling in. Man, we all had internet issues except for James, and now I can't even get James or B back on here. I don't know what's going on, brothers, but I'm here rocking out with you until we can figure something out. Who else we got? We got. I think we went to 979 already. Let me see. Ken, you're live on the Boxing Voice, brother.
Hey, how's it going, Ness?
Chilling.
Great show as usual. It's too bad that Bede's not on right now. I wanted to give him a lot of credit for his analysis. You know, I think he's been on a roll with this stuff, and something's changed about the way he approaches the show. I've been, you know, following you guys since last year, and he used to be much more, you know, excitable, get into it with the, you know, the callers and things. I just feel like he's toned it down to the point where his analysis really come through better. Like, he's really adding a lot to the show, and he's really right more often than he's wrong lately. I do have to say that I'm 3 for 3 for yesterday's fights, but I never did get a chance to call in and eat my crow for the Cotto Martinez fight. So, you know, I guess it is what it is. Actually, people are giving Gary Russell a lot of crap, but he fought very well. I think it's just that he had a better guy in front of him. And something I want to point out is that we still don't know yet if Lomachenko will look the same against a rugged guy like Salido again. You know, stylistically, that might just be a weak spot for him. You know, Russell, as someone else pointed out, really stayed outside more, and Lomachenko has beautiful footwork. But if you have a guy like Salido in there who doesn't give a fuck about your footwork, is really just hanging on to you and staying in your chest, would he have the similar, you know, issues with that type of fighter? So I am curious about that. I mean, you know, people were saying this guy's nuts to be fighting for a championship yet again for his third fight, but we don't know if he still has problems with this stuff. So I'm not ready to anoint him yet, but I'll tell you, man, that fight was beautiful. It was a great fight to watch. The skill set was very high, and I have to say the Guerrero fight afterwards was just such a letdown after watching Russell and Lomachenko go at it, because we're talking about two guys who really, really fought beautifully. And I could really give a shit to watch these two guys do rock'em, sock'em robots after that. So that's pretty much all I had to say.
All right, Ken. I will disagree with you. I enjoyed both fights equally, and I took them for what they are. I am like you. I enjoy boxing better than brawling, but you know, I liked the Guerrero Kamegai fight. It was entertaining. You're calling from a long distance Skype number, so I don't even know how to begin to say 01144, and you got crazy feedback, brother. I can't even have you on at this point. 301, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? 301, you're live. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're there? 301, you there?
Yeah.
What's going on, brother? Talk to me.
Yeah, it's Guerrero from Maryland. You know, I'm new. I'm gonna start calling. You know, every Sunday and Thursday. You know, I've been listening to your show for about 2 months now. And I just came to call about Gary Russell and Lomachenko. Can I talk about all 3 fights?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, for the Gary Russell fight, I mean, I'm not surprised. I didn't have no prediction or anything, but I'm not surprised what happened. I mean, we've all seen Gary Russell, HBO, Showtime, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, he's been fighting bums, and I agree with you on some parts, and I disagree with you. I agree with you about, how when he got hurt, he took his time and he stuck in there and all that. But I think you gave him too many rounds. You gave him too many rounds.
How many did you give him?
I gave him 1, and it was probably round 6 when Lomachenko, he wasn't really doing anything.
Wow. I mean, hey, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because MV Chu only gave him 1 round too, and I thought he was crazy, but I guess I'm the crazy one.
Yeah, Gary Russell, he really. And then what did he have? Like 12%. He barely touched Lomachenko. He barely touched. All that flashy stuff. Like he was not effective at all. Not at all.
I agree. He wasn't effective. He wasn't even landing, this fucking guy.
Yeah, and but the fight I really want to see, I really want to see Riggins in there with Lomachenko. I think Riggins will beat the shit out of Lomachenko.
I don't know, man. They're gonna have to offer him a lot of money because his last fight is in Macau, and that's his last fight with Top Rank. So he's gonna want a shitload of money. I hope that they make it because I would love to see that, man. That's definitely.
So Riggins, are you still with Top Rank? I thought he was getting ready to move away from them.
Well, his last fight is in Macau, and then we'll find out what's going to happen with him because that's when the contract is up. But 301, I hope I answered your question. I got to get to some other callers, man. Thanks for calling in. This is your first time calling in. You finally lost that boxing voice virginity, popping cherries over here. Thank you, brother. Now you got to go to iTunes and drop a 5-star review for your favorite boxing radio show. 253, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
What up, Nestor Willie from the Northwest? And I had to call in and eat my crow. On Gary
I got
Russell,
that for you.
I picked Russell.
So how do you like it served?
With lots of barbecue sauce.
Yo, everybody eats their crow with barbecue sauce, man. I mean, nobody like garlic sauce or like on some Alfredo noodles. What's going on, man? You guys have no imagination here.
Well, you know, I'm from Tacoma, Seattle, and, you know, we got legal tonic up here, so munchies, barbecue sauce, it all works out.
I hear you, man. Definitely. What you smoking on?
Northern Lights today.
Damn, that's an old strain. That thing's still around?
Yeah, you know, Washington, baby.
I hear you, brother. So what do you think about the fights us outside of Lomachenko, since you already gave your take on that? Actually, you didn't really get into the fact. You didn't really get into it.
Yeah, I thought Guerrero fought, you know, that it was okay. I thought Guerrero, if he would have gave the Japanese dude more angles, and if he, after round 6, I thought if he would have started boxing, he could have really finished the Japanese dude off. And instead he got into a slugfest, you know, which made a nice fight, but, you know, he could have really, I thought that didn't really help him any coming off a 13-month layoff.
Now, I'll ask you a question, right? Because Thursday's show, there was a lot of questions and doubts as to was the CrossFit going to affect him in a good way or a positive way. A positive or a negative way. But I felt like it might have affected him positively because he had power throughout. I remember all the way in the 9th round, him still having a lot of snap and pop on him punches. What did you think? Do you think that he looked sluggish? Do you think he looked bigger physically? Knowing that he did CrossFit, do you think that it added anything to his game?
I actually thought the CrossFit looked good for him. If you saw when they were in close fighting, when he was fighting on the ropes, he was throwing uppercuts and he was snapping the dude Kamegai's head back with every uppercut he threw. And he didn't look like he was getting tired at all. So, I mean, other than him getting blasted in the eye, you know, he looked decent. He just fought the wrong fight, I thought.
Oh, yeah, man. I don't know. He did look decent to me physically, and he looked strong early on. But his constant, I guess, I don't know, lack of discipline, because he always ends up in these kind of fights, and I don't really know what it does for him. You know, I don't like the way he's backpedaling on the Thurman question. So I don't know,
He tries to make every fight look like he's fighting Andre Berto, and I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think he's going to be able to do that versus Thurman. Thurman's going to put some real. You talking about barbecue sauce? He's going to put some barbecue sauce all over that boy. He's going to put paws on him,
he won't
like little
get that.
Scrappy say.
I think, and I also think, I'll put it out there right now, I think that Porter just demolishes Brooks. That ain't even going to be a competition.
Well, man, I'm glad you feel that way, but I don't even know if that fight's going to take place. But Midwest, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get to some other callers. I hope you left us a 5-star review on iTunes, brother, because we definitely appreciate it, man. And you know, try some. What do you say? What is that new thing going around? When the strain comes to mind, I'll let you know. 201, you're live on the Boxing Voice. I think this is Jersey Sev, right?
Damn, I waited so freaking long. Dude, I almost forgot what I was gonna say.
Dude,
but what's up, guys?
We had all types of issues,
I'm just
man.
chilling, you know. Huh?
I said we had all types of issues. Beeb's internet crashed. My internet crashed. They can't even get back on. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know about it. Yeah, but the reason why I called in, first of all, that was a great card last night. That was a wonderful card. I mean, I didn't see the Alexander fight because I don't watch any Alexander fights. I saw the last 2 fights from Lomachenko. So I guess I'll just start off with that. I'm really glad he got the decision. I was kind of getting worried that he wouldn't get it, despite the fact that he clearly won, because he's not American and he was a Golden Boy promoted card on Showtime. But I'm just glad that he didn't get ripped off by the judges or by the promoters or anything like that, and he got the decision that he deserved. He's a good little fighter. I would like to point out that, as I'm sure many others did, that one fight that he had with Salido did equate to over 24 or whatever, 25 of Russell's fights, because let's face it, I mean, I would have done the same thing to all those Russell opponents too. It doesn't mean anything. He wasn't fighting anyone with any quality. He was fighting D-class fighters. But that does nothing for your career. And you can't go to that level and all of a sudden jump up to world-class level. Same thing happened with Tapia. He was just feeding off bums, and then all of a sudden they thought they were going to be able to jump up to world-class level. You can't build a fighter like that. You have to take it step at a time, step by step. You can't just be fighting D-class fighters and then one day decide to fight A- guy. That's not going to happen. But I'm just glad that happened. And the Guerrero fight was very entertaining, probably fight of the year so far. But the thing is, he looked like shit to me. He was squaring up a lot. He was locking up his knees. His knees were locking up. And he was getting hit. His defense. You guys were talking about Kamegai's defense. Yeah, it was bad, but so was Guerrero's. He was horrible. And I did see some rust, but I don't care. It was a good fight, so whatever.
Definitely, brother. Definitely. Well said. Well said. I'm gonna put you back on hold so you can listen in. Hey, you guys remember Derry Jean last fought Lamont Peterson in DC at 140 pounds? This guy recently said that he wants to fight Omar Figueroa or the winner of Gamboa Crawford. So he's going to move down, but at least he's moving down and he's looking to stay on that high level. So that's good to hear. We got James and B back. I don't know what you guys have heard, so since you haven't, let me just take another caller and you guys jump in from there. 973, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Yo, this is just Ozzy.
What's going on, brother?
What it do, bruh? I've been trying to get on for a couple of weeks. I've been wanting to, I had picked Cotto to win. Let me just get that out of there. I tried to call. I was on hold for like an hour to put my pick in for Algeria. I actually wanted to make a bet with you, but I couldn't get through. And I missed your show on Thursday, so I actually didn't have a chance to call in for that, but I did watch it on YouTube.
Now, I got to interrupt you, right? Because I'm going to ask you one thing, and this is going to make or break everything you just said. Is this your first time calling in?
No.
Well, I don't know if I can believe all those stories you just told me. Had you been a first-time caller, but you're telling me for the past 3 or 4 shows you could not get on? I don't know.
No, for the Cotto one, I partly my fault. I didn't wait long enough, so I just, hung up the phone and just kept listening on my computer. But before the Algeria fight, I waited for a good 45 minutes, maybe to an hour. I just hung up and just continued watching because, my ear was getting hot from the phone. But anyway, that's the past. This is now. I did pick Lomachenko to win, but my reasons is for the simple fact that I believe he was just the better boxer as far as amateur-wise. You can't, like you said, throw all of Russell's pro fights out the window because that don't mean nothing. Those guys were pretty much amateurs themselves that he was beating up. So to me, I was looking at it as 2 fresh amateurs coming in, going at it. Lomachenko having the more experience as a pro, to me, because he faced 2 better guys that, pretty much trumped Russell's entire resume. And one of the main reasons I picked Lomachenko was because they're both boxers, and Lomachenko actually has the body measurements of a boxer, and Russell doesn't. He has short arms, He's a short guy. He has the body of a slugger, even though he is a good boxer. But boxing a guy who's equally as good or maybe even a little better, it's not going to work when that boxer has a longer reach. He's taller. He's going to be bigger than you on fight night. It's just didn't look good. You can look at videos from Dante's Boxing Nation. I pretty much give my my predictions on different videos and let people know why. But I just couldn't see it. I said it. It was gonna make Russell look like an amateur. I gave him round 3 and 8, I believe. And that's it.
Well, at least you gave him more than one. 2 callers said they only gave him 1 round.
Yeah, he did. I mean, his hand speed was great, but he looked like he was just shadow boxing, like in training camp or something. Like he would throw like 8 punches and none of them would land. Just maybe one, and that was like right as Lomachenko was getting out of there, and it would barely graze him. It was, you know, I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I think he would destroy anyone that's, you know, close to his size and his arm reach, but Lomachenko's just a better boxer, you know, or not equal, but he just has the measurements for that style to be a boxer. I don't think Russell has those measurements with the 61-inch arm reach. That's more like, you know, like a slugger's body. Like it's just, I just seen it as it couldn't work out at all for Russell. I couldn't understand why people were even picking him.
I hear
See,
you,
and
man.
this is why I don't agree with a lot of people that say, like, you know, you mentioned a little bit earlier, you kind of alluded to the fact that people were saying that it's because maybe Gary Russell didn't face the level of opposition as Lomachenko did. But at the same time, I kind of think of it, everything that you just said, talking about his length, his size, his power that he just doesn't have, obviously, in this division, and the way he fights, and he can obviously be outbodied. You can bully him around if you have enough power or you're big enough size. A lot of that stuff isn't something that he would have learned in other, like, if he had step-up fights. While I agree that I think if he had maybe, like, a good gatekeeper fight, that he would have done maybe a little bit better in this fight, but I think it was just necessarily more of Lomachenko just being the outright better fighter than he was, not necessarily even the level of opposition in this. It was, to me, the way Lomachenko was outboxing him was just something that I don't think he would have learned even if he had, like, you know, if he went through, like, Orlando Toledo or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's more his opposition level. I think it's just his level of skill. It just wasn't there. It wasn't matching up to what Lomachenko is.
Yeah, man. I agree, James. Like, I agree with the caller. I mean, I just really thought that his counter-punching ability would be the difference, but I guess not. 757, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Antonio, man, from Virginia.
Antonio, man, I don't think you called in. You didn't get the call in, did you?
What you talking about? For what?
For Thursday show, did you call in and pick somebody?
No, I ain't calling to pick nobody, man. I listened to it though, like later on after the show was over.
But we all know you went with Gary Russell because you in the DMV.
Man, I don't even really know Gary Russell like that, man. I've seen a couple of his fights, but I don't care about where he's from. To be honest with you, could be from Virginia. I wouldn't care. But it was a good card last night, man. I'm gonna just go through them. I'm gonna go through all of them. You know, the ones on the undercards. The first fight between the 2 heavyweights. Another football player becoming a boxer. He got good offense, but take too many flesh shots. He won't land long. He won't last long. Sam Watson ain't gonna be behind him too long. Once he move up, he gonna get knocked out. He just taking flesh shots. You can't do that. I don't care how tall you are, 6'7". If you're giving up your height and you're just taking flesh shots from a guy throwing haymakers, anybody at the top level will knock you out sooner or later. Chad Dawson, he say he blew up like 218. Yeah, that's crazy. But I thought he would have looked more hungrier. To me, he was in good shape. Wasn't in great shape. He got caught a few times. His speed and his power still looked to be there though. So we didn't really get enough of him. That was only one round. The guy he was fighting just picked up a check and left the ring. Then you got Alexander and Karas. Again, Alexander, that was probably one of his best best showings for me, and I still thought he just looked good. Like, to me, I know it was Bill Alexander, but he looked good last night. So the Karras looked like a mummy, too slow to catch up with him, and even when he did, he never looked like he could turn the fight around. Russell Lomachenko, how you score that fight? Ness?
115, 113.
See, I had it close too. I thought Showtime was on some net hugging last night, man. I was like, they just really going off on this Lomachenko guy. Like, I'm not seeing what they seeing. I'm seeing a much closer fight. Like, after 5 rounds, I had it 3-2 Machenko. And at the end of the fight, I had it either 8-4, which is probably what I'd give you, but I could see 7-5. Like, I could really see 7-5 for Machenko, for Lomachenko, obviously his name. But I don't know. I thought it was giving way too much credit for Machenko and a lot less credit. I didn't agree with the 10% punch landed. I didn't agree with that. I thought he would land in some shots Counterbox won't give him credit for, although they won't affect us. I mean, he was landing to me. Yeah, I had an 8-4, 7-5 for Lomachenko. I mean, I agree with the last caller. I was gonna say that when I tried to call in earlier. That I was telling my brother because he was watching the fight with me. I mean, it's hard for me to be impressed when you're fighting somebody you're much bigger than. I mean, I know they weigh the same, but he was bigger than Russell, and the biggest factor in the fight was the power. I mean, Russell couldn't hurt him. He could apply pressure on Russell the whole fight. I thought Russell fought good as he could, but at the end of the day, the dynamics of the fight played in the favor of Machenko, and he was able to land some tough shots. Russell showed heart. He was getting cracked by body shots, cracked by uppercuts. Times where I thought he might have got knocked out. He kept fighting hard, and he went the 12-round distance, and he fought hard the entire fight. People say people calling in saying that, Russell had 24 fights before 24 bumps. Man, don't none of that matter. The only thing was proven last night was that if you're an amateur and you have a lot of fights, you can go up to the pro level and fight at a high level because you're fighting a boxer. Russell is a boxer. Machenko, a boxer. In the amateurs, you box. You don't fight brawlers typically. He fought Salido, more of a brawler type. He had problems. He fought Russell. It was a boxing match. In the amateurs, you fight in boxing matches. So, yes, you probably don't need to fight that many professional fights to get in there with another boxer and outperform him. And that's what he did last night. It was a boxing match. He won it. Then we got the main event. I mean, it was a good fight. I liked it. It excited me. Robert Guerrero did good, but, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, I think they'll probably have their way with him.
You said Thurman. What? What was that last part?
I said Robert Guerrero, man. He fought good, but Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, they'll have their way with him.
I agree with that. Yeah, I don't think I wasn't. I enjoyed the fight last night, but like I said, it didn't make me believe that he can actually compete with either Sean Porter or Keith Thurman, because that's what I want to see him next up. So.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if Porter can do that, because I know everybody's high on Porter right now, but you gotta have some power to keep Guerrero off of you, or he is gonna look like that all night. And I don't know, like, okay, he did what he did to Paulie.
Porter got some power though. He got a new fitness trainer. He got some power.
I have to see if that power continues.
I mean, it's going to continue because he got that new guy who he got a new trainer in his corner that was giving people steroids. That power going to continue, man. These guys going to be fooling me, man. They picking these trainers who are getting results using steroids, getting caught for it, and they saying, we ain't using it, but we just going to pick him because he's great at what he does. But isn't he great at what he does because he was getting artificial results? I don't really understand that, man. I only understand what they be trying to sell to people. Like, I mean, Marquez too. You got a guy who's a known steroid pusher, and you saying he's great at what he does, but he's great at what he does because he was getting artificial results. Like, I mean, that's crazy. And I got one more question. I didn't hear y'all talk about the Ariza situation. Got kicked out of the Garcia camp.
Yeah, I seen that, man. But it's nothing new for him, right?
Nah, it ain't. That's funny, guys.
Yo, hey, who in Porter's corner are you saying that you think is like tied to steroids? Because I can't think of anyone that he's with right now that would be tied to steroids.
who was on Paul Malignaggi talking about, man? It was somebody in his camp that he working with that's been known for pushing.
Victor Conti talking about. Victor Conti.
Yeah, well, last year I'm messing with this guy. He getting artificial results, but I keep trying to tell he's really what he does.
Whether or not guys are taking steroids or not, like Alex Reza was no doubt definitely putting stimulants in people's shakes. I can't say no doubt, but I highly suspect that he was putting stimulants in Manny Pacquiao's shakes, probably putting stimulants in Brandon Rios' shakes because he did come up dirty for a stimulant. So these guys are putting supplements and giving these guys supplements that may not be steroids, but a lot of the stuff will still, if you take it, you'll still fail a post-fight drug test. So a lot of the stuff that you can buy over the counter, even though it's a supplement and it's still legal, you could still take this stuff and come up dirty on a drug test. So it's not legal in the realm of boxing. It's not legal in the realm of competition. Like, you're not supposed to take caffeine before an event. I mean, caffeine's not illegal, but you can't use it as a stimulant before an event. So there's a lot of things that, quote unquote, aren't illegal, but they're illegal in performance type contests. So whether or not these guys are giving them steroids or not, or PEDs or not, they're definitely giving them supplements that are definitely highly questionable, in my opinion. So
hey,
yeah,
VA,
I mean, it's nothing new.
VA, man, I'm gonna place you on hold, brother. I gotta get to some other callers. I'm sorry, brother. It's coming down to that time, 10 o'clock almost, and we got a shitload of other people we gotta get to. 916, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
What's up, Boxing Voice? It's Alex from Sacramento.
Alex, what up?
I'm calling. I got 2 for 3 on the Showtime on Saturday. I was wrong with the Soto Carras versus Devin Alexander, but I got the other 2, the big ones, right. And I just want to touch bases on a few things.
No. First of all, it don't even go that way because you picked the one that wasn't even an upset. Like Gary Russell, Lomachenko. You see how it was split. I mean, even the betting
I went with
odds,
Lomachenko.
I know you picked Lomachenko. What I'm saying is Carras Devin, that was like an easy pick, and you chose to go Carras, so you got to eat your crow, bro. Shit,
that's
cursed.
All good,
I'm cursed.
It's all good.
And I even got that one right.
Latin Rafa.
Yeah, but I'm cursed, and I even got that one right. Come on.
I'll give you that. But I just want to touch bases on a few things with the Lomachenko versus Gary Russell. Even though it was just his 3rd professional bout, he might as well have had 30 professional bouts. He was looking like a grizzled, diamond-cut veteran. He was putting the pressure on Gary Russell. He was fighting him going forward, fighting him off the back foot, hitting him in the body, really letting his hands go. He was, letting shots go from weird angles. He was doing it all. It was his night, and, he wasn't going to be denied. Like I said, he learned from, the experience he had with Salido, and, he built on that. He made the adjustments, and like I said, he took care of business.
He sure did, brother. Well, I'm going to get to some other callers, man. We're on drive-by mode. But this guy's alumni. He's calling in late. But, he's what? 2 out of 3 on this one, I believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nelson.
No, motherfucker. I didn't say my name was different. What the fuck?
Oh, you said your name was Nelson.
No, I didn't. You need to clean your motherfucking ears out, nigga. Hey, first of all, Big needs to clean his motherfucking ears out. You saying that caffeine is a banned fucking substance? No, it's not.
No.
Yes, it is. You cannot drink caffeine before a competition because caffeine is a stimulant. Don't you remember when Pacquiao Margarito fought? Wait. He was going to take Rip Fuel, which had caffeine in it, and he was going to drink a cup of coffee. And the person that was in the locker room says you cannot drink that coffee and you cannot take that Rip Fuel. So stop it. I know for a fact caffeine is a banned substance. It is a stimulant. You're wrong. It's a stimulant. You can't take it. End of story. Don't say it anymore. You're embarrassing yourself. You cannot drink caffeine. You cannot drink caffeine before an event. It's a stimulant.
It's a
They
stimulant.
don't test for caffeine.
Caffeine
They
has come up
coffee on
as a
camera.
stimulant. They test for stimulants. Why? What do you think was the Brandon Rios'
They
friggin'
test for
drink?
fucking ephedrine and shit, man. They don't test for caffeine.
Caffeine is also a stimulant and is illegal before competition.
Yeah, no
yes,
shit,
it
caffeine
is.
a stimulant.
You're
That's a legal
wrong.
one.
You're wrong.
They
Just
don't
shut up.
test for
Stop.
it.
You're wrong. Just end it. You're wrong. I know for a fact you're embarrassing
I'm not
yourself.
wrong, B.
You're
I'm not.
embarrassing
They-
yourself.
they
It's
don't test for
illegal.
caffeine.
It's a stimulant.
No, it's not.
It's a
No, it isn't.
stimulant.
No, it
You're
isn't.
wrong. What do you think
no, I'm not.
What do you think
No,
is
I'm
the
not.
main ingredient in Rip Fuel and all of these stimulant fat burner pills for energy? What is in Red Bull? What's the main ingredient in Red Bull?
Water.
No, it's not. It's caffeine. The main ingredient in Red Bull is caffeine. So you need to tell me that you can drink a Red Bull before a boxing match, and you won't come up dirty tested for stimulants. There was a long distance runner before. There was a long distance runner before that drank a Coke after the race, and she failed the Olympic style drug test because caffeine is a banned substance. It's a stimulant.
Steve, caffeine
Look
is
it
not
up.
a banned substance.
Call
No, it's not.
Call up the commission. It is a stimulant. It is illegal. It's illegal.
Okay, guys. Okay.
It's illegal.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay,
it's
guys.
illegal.
Hold on. Nelda.
It's illegal.
Nelda.
You're wrong. It's illegal. Caffeine is illegal. Antonio Mazzarino was not allowed to drink his cup of coffee in the locker room before that Pacquiao fight. He said, "Can I drink that?" No, they said, "No, you cannot drink that. It has caffeine in it. It's a stimulant. You're not allowed to take stimulants before a competition." I know for a fact.
Okay,
Trust me.
Beep. You guys follow each other on Twitter. Just tweet each other factual information on this. But going back and forth, yes it is, no it's not, yes it is. I mean, we got to move on with that. Nelta, finish up, baby.
Oh, man, I'm sorry about that. All right. Well, first of all, what do you call it? Yeah, Guerrero looked like shit yesterday, just like I said he would. And Kamegai was busting his motherfucking ass. Guerrero was lucky to get out of there with the W. You know, he was lucky he was the favorite fighter in that fight, and he was lucky that he was able to land some of those head-snapping shots in the last couple rounds. He saved his ass.
Man,
And
how did
the
you
thing is,
score
with
that
Guerrero-
fight? How did you score that fight for you to say that that was close?
115-113, Guerrero.
What rounds did you give Kamegai?
I don't have my scorecard right in front of me right now.
Yeah, because it's a bullshit.
No, it's not bullshit. You can look at my fucking Twitter. I was updating that shit the whole time. I had Kamegai leading all the way through, I believe, the 10th round.
What?
Yep. Kamegai was busting his motherfucking ass and closing his bitch ass eye. That's what you was doing. He was showing that CrossFit bullshit is straight trash and
Let me
whooping
ask
his
you
motherfucking
something.
ass.
Let me ask you something. In the first 5 rounds, which round did you give Kamegai? You got to remember something in the first 5.
Damn it. You're making me fucking try to go back to my shit now, man.
Dude, because the first 5 is the hardest. That's when Guerrero fought the best. So if you saying you had Kamegai up through 10, I want to hear what fucking rounds you gave him. I'm gonna leave.
Well,
I'm not
let's see.
even
I
gonna
mean,
put, listen to me. I'm
let's
not
see.
even gonna put you on hold. I'm not gonna put you on hold. You're not gonna be on mute. Look for it. I'm gonna get to another caller. In the meantime, you find that because you can't just come on here talking about you had him up through 10 and not have no fucking proof.
I had him up through 6 too. I had him up through 6
All right, so show us. Show us. I'm not muting you. Show us. 602, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Yo, what's going on? That's Brandon from Phoenix.
What's going on, Brandon?
Yo, not much, man. I'm gonna try to keep it quick. First off, Devin actually had an exciting fight for the first time I think ever. So that was kind of a good look, even though I think he got hit a little bit too much for the harass. With Kamegai and Guerrero, I completely agree with Dee that I don't understand why Guerrero's fighting like that. And that, I would like to see him create a little bit more distance between him and Kamegai instead of going as rock and sock and robot. And, side note, I like Keith Thurman, and I think Keith Thurman looks good, but people are turning him into, like, the next Golovkin. And we ain't seen him beat anybody who was credible yet. So, I mean, that's what I got to say about Thurman. And as far as Russell Lomachenko, I don't think it was a power deficiency because Russell couldn't really put hands on Lomachenko. I mean, it really goes to what one of the other callers was saying, and what I said when I called in was that Russell's arms are too short. And with his style, you know, they just didn't really have a good game plan for Lomachenko. They didn't cut off the ring. You know, I don't know what they were doing in there, you know, between him and his trainers. Just, to me, they just didn't have a game plan. And that's all I got to say about it, man.
I hear you, man. I agree definitely on the whole Beeb thing, because I don't think that Guerrero should be fighting that way, but I don't know. I'm starting to think that he can't fight any other way. He used to be a good boxer at 130 and 135. I don't know what's going on. Ever since he moved to welterweight, he just rather lean in and take shots. And as far as Devin goes, I was really let down that he took that many shots from Karras. It was sad. You know, they were making a lot of mention on the broadcast as if it was brought down from the executives that, Devin, you need to be entertaining, because you could hear Brian Kenny and everyone else, you know, basically like, oh, Devin Alexander, you know, sometimes people don't like him, sometimes he do, sometimes he's on, sometimes he not. He needs to make himself more exciting. Even Paulie was like, oh, people wanted Devin to be more exciting. He's being more exciting, but he's taking punishment for that. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do, man. All right, none of my co-hosts got anything to say on that. 408, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Yes, I got my card, man.
Yo, hello?
Nelta, I'll be right with you. 408, you're live. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm calling. I got to eat my crow on the Russell pick.
How you want it served, brother? We even making crow drinks here, man. You want it with vodka?
Yeah. Get that crow sushi. Man, yeah, I picked Russell. It was dumb. I was picking with my heart, not my head. So the last couple callers, I think, really put it down. It was his arm length. It was like he could not. He was trying to triple jab and get inside, but he was just not close. He wasn't close. So, and it really did. It looked like almost like two different weight divisions. You know what I mean? It looked like a guy was in a division higher. So I don't know what's going to happen with Russell from here, but, you know, hoping the best for him. So, and then as far as the caffeine thing, that seems crazy, man. A cup, I know in the NC2A, caffeine is banned, but in really high numbers, you know, high milligrams. But
Sam Solomon took a drink. I just posted an article, a link in the chat, and he drank a caffeine drink before his fight with Sturm. And the IBF, in the article, the IBF has a rule about drinking stimulants during and before the match. And it's illegal. Now, I will explain. You made a great point, sir. A cup of coffee. Okay, a cup of coffee, maybe not. But you cannot drink an energy drink loaded with caffeine, because, again, throughout the course of a fight, you can get rid of a cup. The amount of caffeine in a cup of coffee is very minuscule. But if you drink an energy drink, or you have certain green teas or whatever that have a high amount of stimulants in them, you will fail. In a lot of state commissions, you will fail, because the IBF specifically, I just posted it in there, Sam Solomon in trouble because of a caffeine drink. That's the name of the article. Okay? Yeah. You are not allowed to load up with an exorbitant amount of caffeine in your system before a match, because that
article itself says that it wasn't the caffeine.
But
yes. Read what the IBF says, though. Look at you pick and choose what you want to read. There's a clause that the IBF has. There's a clause that the IBF has that says you cannot load up on the stimulants paragraph. It is not disputed that the oxyfen is regarded as a stimulant, even if the effects were minor, which cannot be said for certain. Okay, so they have a clause right in there that says you cannot load up on stimulants. You cannot drink 2 or 3 Red Bulls before a boxing match and not test positive for stimulants.
But it's not about caffeine. That article is not about caffeine. It's about
Yes. Then why is it say in trouble because of a caffeine drink? Caffeine is a stimulant. You are not allowed. But you are not allowed to drink. You are not allowed to drink a high amount of caffeine before a boxing match. In certain conditions, why do you think they don't allow you to drink sport? They don't allow you to drink those Red Bulls before and during the boxing match. It's illegal. I'm telling you that
it's about the quantity, right? It's not how much.
It's about the quantity. You're exactly right. It's about the quantity. A cup of coffee has like 60 milligrams.
Beeb, if it was that banned out right then it wouldn't be about the quantity. Then it wouldn't matter how much you had. You could drink a Coke.
Did you read the article? They have.
Still a friend, man.
Did you read the article? Article?
Yes.
Okay. And doesn't it say that there's a stimulant clause in their contract?
Yes, and that stimulant clause knocked him for oxylifrin, not caffeine.
That is not considered a stimulant. They're questioning whether or not that is a stimulant.
It's stated right in the article, Beeb.
They're questioning. They also disregarded oxyfrin as not performance enhancing and stated that it was agreed that the list of banned substances official IBF ruled that would be the foundation for the testing. The IBF, in fact, does not list this substance in their standard agreement. The same agreement that they have the stimulants or injections in any part of the body before a boxer is prohibited under the drugs and stimulants program. It is not disputed whether oxyfrin is regarded as a stimulant, even if the effects were minor, which cannot be said for certain.
It is not disputed that oxylifrin is regarded as a stimulant. That sums up the entire article right there.
But I'm not talking about oxyfrin, okay? I'm talking about drinking sports drinks. I'm talking about drinking sports drinks. I'm talking about drinking sports drinks with a high amount of caffeine. You are not allowed to do that. That's why you're not allowed to take Rip Fuel. What does Rip Fuel have in it? It has caffeine in it.
All kinds of bullshit.
That's the major ingredient in it. Because ephedra is illegal in the United States right now. Did you know that?
Yep. Yes,
ephedra is illegal.
In fact, I did.
Okay. So why can't you take Rip Fuel if ephedra is not in it? Why can't you take it?
Because
why is Rip Fuel illegal? Why did they tell Antonio Margarito? Why did they catch? They saw a bottle of Rip Fuel in Antonio Margarito's locker in Las Vegas, right? And why did they tell him he couldn't take that? Why did they tell him he couldn't take that?
It was hydroxycut. It wasn't Rip Fuel. First of all, it was hydroxycut.
No, it was Rip Fuel. It was Rip Fuel.
It was hydroxycut.
And Roy Jones was told not to take Rip Fuel too because he got bagged for it too, and they told him don't take it. Why not? All of the stuff. What is the main ingredient in all those pills, though, Neota? What is it? Yerba mate, which is a tea. Green tea, which is a tea. Okay? Then you have friggin' kohola nut, which is caffeine. Then you have black tea caffeine. Okay? All of it is caffeine. So why aren't you allowed to take Rip Fuel before a boxing match or hydroxycut before a boxing match if the major ingredients primarily 90% caffeine? Why can't you take those? Tell me why.
Those things aren't just banned outright unless they're banned outright. Unless it specifically names it.
Why are you not allowed to take those? Why aren't you allowed to take those supplements, Leota? Explain to me why.
Where does it say that hydroxycut is banned? Where does it say that?
You cannot take those supplements. They told Antonio Margarito in the locker room in Las Vegas, you cannot take that Rip Fuel. They told him. I saw it. I watched it when they were in the locker room. I watched it.
They told him that he couldn't take whatever he was pouring from the little packet. But he could drink the coffee, though.
It was Rip Fuel.
All right, guys.
They saw the child Rip Fuel. Freddie Roach pointed to the Rip Fuel in his locker, in the locker room. And then he said, he better not take that. And they said, no, he can't take that. You're right. And they did not allow him to take it. Just think if they allowed people to take stimulants. If you take Rip Fuel or you drink one of them Yellow Jackets, do you know how much energy you have? You take one of those things, you're up for 24 hours. You're off the wall. I took one of those things before I freaking did cardio for 2 hours straight with non-stop. Why are they telling them they can't take Rip Fuel and then they can't take friggin' hydroxycut? Why are they telling them they can't take that stuff? All it is caffeine, right?
We'll save this for another topic.
Nelta, look,
I mean,
man, you guys already chewed it up. There's only 6 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and do the chat room roll call before we go off the live feed. Let me see. Starting from the top. Who we got? Alec Handor Cabrera, I guess. Maybe Alex. I can't really see that. Ari Gold, Boxing News All Day. Chani, Coex host. Oh no, co-host 923 The Box. Die Hard Casual Fan. Dice Reads, man, long time listener. Shout out, brother. Thank you for continuing to listen. Improvisions, James Grills, J Sauce, Cam UK. Shout out to Cam, my boy. KM Star, Mount Alpha, man. I haven't heard that Argentine voice in forever. Mr. Jordan, Nelta, Nothing for Something, Ringleader X Dank, Stuart Little, whoa. Damn, Stuart. As soon as you're back, people gotta fuck with you. Look, they got Stuart Little ARG, Stuart Little COL, Stuart Little FR. I don't think they've ever had so many parody. And look, they got, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Stuart Little JAP, Jap, Stuart Little MX, Stuart Little UK, Stuart Little Ukraine, Stuart Little USA. The one Frankie, who hasn't made a solid pick since Maidana Broner. The 177 UK personnel took my $30 on the Cotto Martinez. Rap full of boxing. And we got
90 seconds.
All you loser guests, I'm not even going to mention. 90 seconds left on the live speed. This has been a show for Gary Russell and Lomachenko, and of course Guerrero and Kamegai. I'm your host, Ness GTO, joined alongside J Habib.
J Habib1, Twitter. Get at me if you want. Follow me, tweet me.
And
any advice you want.
60 seconds.
And the Phoenix Rocket himself.
At Jameson Rocket, Jameson with an I.
All right, fellas, this has been the show. There's a few people there. I want to say some thank yous to. And don't forget the Canelo Alvarez glove. Wait a minute. Oh, damn, there's a lot. I'm gonna try and get to some of these calls, bro. You guys want to stay on? We gotta
Yeah, stay on. We missed half the show, man. So I'd rather stay on longer to make up for the time I missed.
Okay, because we just got, I don't know if it's Blog Talk or what, but I just seen like 5 new calls here.
Well, yo, Ness, I
got
my card, man. If you wanted to.
Oh yeah, Nelta. Give me those rounds.
2, 3, 5, 6, and 8.
What fight were we talking about here?
10 seconds.
I scored 2, 3,
Did
5,
you have
6,
Guerrero,
and 8 for Kamegai.
Did you had Tamatai winning Nyota?
No. I had Guerrero winning 7-5, 115 to 130.
Which one you gave Kamegai?
Yeah.
Kamegai, what you gave him?
What did I get? I just told you 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8.
2, 3, 2 and 3? Man, you're fucking kidding me, man. What did he do in round 2 and 3 that made you think he did the better work?
Oh, I don't know. Snap Guerrero's head back about 5 times, hit him with 3 right hands in a row, and close his fucking eye.
That didn't happen in round 2 or 3.
Say what?
I don't remember the eye being busted in round 2 or 3.
No, it happened a couple rounds later, but my point is that he was hitting Guerrero cleanly the entire night.
And I don't care. I don't care about your point. The question was, what did he do in rounds 2 and 3 to make you give him them rounds?
Ness, you're asking me to remember like exact points. The 2 of them were going to war the entire fight. It was tit for tat the entire fucking fight. I thought the guy won those rounds on punches.
Okay, fair point. Fair point. You can't remember that. Beeb, do you have your card? What did you give in the first 5 rounds?
I actually gave Kamegai the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and that was it. Again, I'm not trying to get on Nyota or anything, but what round did he bust the eye open in? Was that the 3rd round or the second? The 3rd round, I think it was.
Round.
It was the fifth round. I'm sorry. Okay.
I think it was
Yeah,
either
I
the
was
fifth or the
like,
sixth.
I was thinking that it was happening.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was the fifth round, the third round, or the fourth round. And you said you gave Kamegai the second and third rounds, right?
Yeah, I gave him 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. So we agreed on 5 and 6.
2 and 3 are the toughest. James, what rounds did you give Kamegai?
No, I didn't score. I told you guys I forgot to score that shit last night. I gotta go back and watch it.
Oh,
man. Yeah.
Nah, don't even waste your time.
But just by judging by it, I had probably Robert Guerrero like 8-4 or something like that.
Naota, can I ask you a question?
He had it 1 point different than I did. So I mean, why are you getting on me all crazy?
Because I'm getting on you because
you. Naota?
I'm getting on you because you gave him the second and third
fight, because I had that fight 8 rounds to 2, but Steve Fowler had it 6-4. Now I thought that Devin Alexander fight was really wide, in my opinion. What did you have that? Do you remember or no?
I thought that was close too, man. I had it 6-4.
Okay.
Yeah,
just
but
because, again, I don't like to jump on people that have scorecards different than mine, because I know how subjective this sport is.
Because to me, Alexander was ahead, just like about a round ahead of him the entire time, and Cotto just couldn't catch up, basically.
Yeah, but Beeb, you got to remember.
So you were consistent, basically. Then last night you scored both fights close, whereas I scored both fights pretty wide. But it is what it is. I mean, sometimes my scorecards are different than a lot of other people's too. So I'm not gonna jump on you for it. I'm not gonna jump on you for it.
But I mean, fuck the scorecards though, man. Like with regard to Guerrero, like I think a lot of the reason why he fights the way he does now is because he spent most of his career fighting at featherweight and super featherweight. So I mean, all this extra weight on him, I don't think he really knows how to move it around the same way he did when he was.
That's a good point.
So
That's a good point. Maybe he can't move like he did when he was younger or when he was lighter.
And the thing is, he doesn't have the torso movement to make up for the lack of foot movement now. And so because
let me ask you this too, though.
Yeah.
Do you notice how different his body is now too? You notice how he's kind of puffy and kind of smooth looking now, but when he was at the lighter weight classes, he was more cut up and more defined and stuff. He just,
but
I mean, I'm not that it's a bodybuilding contest, but he just doesn't look as in shape and as he did when he was in the lighter weight classes, which brings me to believe
he doesn't have that less than 10% body fat look like most world champions have.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
To be fair though, I thought he looked leaner in this fight than he did in his last two, like with Mayweather.
I thought he looked good.
Yeah,
I thought he looked muscular.
Yeah.
I thought he looked muscular, and he didn't lose any movement. And I thought that his power carried late because he still had a lot of snap. I remember looking out for that because of all the CrossFit talk. And in the ninth round,
but he didn't move that much though. You thought he moved a lot last night?
In the ninth round, he had really good pop. And yes, he did move. He didn't move for 3 minutes of a full round, but almost in every round he would come out boxing and then resort to the same shit after about 45 seconds, almost a minute. He did so box every minute.
I wouldn't call what he was doing really classical boxing though, Jeff. He was pretty much running away from the action. Is what he was doing.
Running away? He was turning him.
Yeah, he was
turning him.
He wasn't keeping Kamegai at bay. He wasn't keeping Kamegai at bay. He was just moving backwards to get
for the first minute. I respectfully disagree. I believe that for the first minute of a lot of rounds, he did keep Kamegai at bay. He kept turning and turning, and then eventually Kamegai's relentlessness, made him give in, and he had to do what he had to do. But he most definitely turned Kamegai a lot in that fight. Come on, man. Listen, anyway, I got to get to these other callers.
Tonight that have been way off the base regarding Kamegai. They're saying like, he has no defense. Now, you motherfuckers should have watched this fight from before like I fucking did. Then you know that the motherfucker was a brawler, that he was coming for that ass, and he almost got it.
He ain't get shit. You just mad he didn't. And the reason your Devin scorecard was fucking close, I was trying to say it, but you guys didn't want to let me get it off, was because you're the only one that fucking picked Karras.
No, that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it, man. I'll score a fight how I score regardless.
Mm-hmm. There won't be any bias to the guy that you picked at all. You won't give him the close rounds. But now I'm gonna get to some other callers, brother.
You don't do this to anybody else, man. Come on now.
Yo, that's because I love you, man. But I got to get to some other callers because I don't know what happened with Blog Talk, but we just got like a shitload just popped up out of nowhere. 313, you're live. 313, going once. Going, that's a long twice, so you're gone. 619, you're live.
What's up, boxing boys? This is Marcos out of San Diego. My first time calling. Love the
Marcos.
show. First show. What's up, man? The first show I caught was the preview to Martinez Cotto. I've been hooked ever since, listening to all the shows, sometimes going in the archives to check out older shows. Let's see. Last night, good card. Alexander Soto. It was a good fight. Alexander, I think the speed was the factor there. He was landing a lot of his punches first. He was getting off his punches, the hand speed. And let's see, I had Alexander winning the first 4 rounds. I had Soto winning 5th, 6th, 7th round. And then I gave Alexander 8, 9, and 10. I kind of thinking I should have gave Soto the 10th round there, but I just thought that Alexander was landing the punches, beating him to the punch, and I kind of think he stole the last half of that round, but I'm kind of guessing my 10th round score there. But anyways, I had Alexander on points 97 to 93, and then moving on to the Russell Lomachenko. Let's see, that Russell, you know what? He was fast. He had a pretty damn good chin. He was tough. His jab was like, I can't believe how fast that boy was. I mean, but his jab, the triple jab, it was like a machine gun, man. But you know what? He had no power, man. And that was the thing, I think. And, he was landing, how about those body shots from Lomachenko, man? I mean, I would have thought, like, is he part Mexican or what? What's going on there? But they were just some stunning body shots. It was just, wow. And I found it interesting that, that Russell was, he was kind of, from some of the fight, he was kind of bringing it, trying to, going towards him, but he just couldn't do it. It was not effective. The aggression, when he, did do it, it wasn't effective. He just had no power there. And let's see, for that one, I gave Russell I gave Lomachenko the first 5 rounds. I gave Russell round 6. Russell round 6, yes. I gave, I gave Lomachenko the first 5 rounds. I gave Russell round 6. I gave Lomachenko round 7. I gave Russell 8 and 9, and then the rest of the fight I gave 10, 11, and 12 to Lomachenko. I had it 117, 111. I don't know what the fuck Giampo was watching, but anyways, we'll go to the next one. I had Guerrero Kamegai. I had Guerrero winning that one 116, 112. I gave Guerrero the first 3 rounds. I gave Kamegai the 4th. I gave Guerrero the 5th round. The 6th round I gave to Kamegai. The 7th round I gave to Kamegai. 8, 9, and 10 I gave to Guerrero. Round 11 I gave to Kamegai, and round 12 I gave to Guerrero. 116, 112. I thought it was a really good night. Boxing, all the fights were entertaining. I definitely, was surprised by how great that last fight turned out to be. Do I think that Guerrero could have made the fight easier? I do. I want to think he could have. I just think that he's more attracted to going, fighting in on the inside. I think that, as you said, he moved up in weight. I think that's where he's, believe it or not, where he's more comfortable. I did see when he used that jab and he created space, it looked like it was going good. And I think his dad in the corner, too, was giving a good environment. I just think his dad knows that his son wasn't going to go ahead and create that space, use the jab. So he just gave the advice to, for him to fight on the inside. He knows his son. He knew he was gonna make it a dogfight and keep it that way. I think he earned his $1 million payday. I mean, I guess, I'm glad he didn't just go in there and, just give us some bullshit fight. So it was pretty good. There was, then a couple of things. As an interview with Oscar and Canelo, while that was going on, what was up with fucking Dan Rayfield hating, man? Saying like, oh, it's getting past midnight over here. They're still interviewing, and then you got he was saying how Oscar was basically begging Floyd Mayweather to work with them. Look, listen, everybody's talking about these big egos in boxing, this and that. You know, somebody has to be the one to reach out and, you know, and put themselves out there. And if people take it as ass kissing, whatever, man, somebody has to go out there. And I think this is going to be good for boxing. I have a good feeling about what's going on and what's brewing here. But I did have one question for you, and I'm done. I just have one question. I don't know if you've already talked on this. I got on the show kind of late today, but what do you guys think about if it were to happen, which I don't think Khan would take the fight, but Khan versus Guerrero? What do you guys think about that?
I like that fight. I like that fight. I like you. I don't think that Khan takes it, not because he's afraid, because we all know Khan gets in with anybody, but more because he's probably still waiting for that Mayweather fight.
Yeah, that's that one too.
You think it's Khan for that? I just thought that'd be an interesting matchup, and well, you know, I really like the show, man. I'm listening every Thursday, every Sunday. I'm glad I got to call in and, you know, represent San Diego over here and just give my take on the fight. Keep up the great job, man. I love the show. I found a place as a diehard boxing fan, a place for me to, you know, go ahead and to be able to discuss and hear people's views, man. It feels good to have a place where I love it, man. Keep up the good work.
Well, brother, thank you for calling in. We're glad and happy that we were able to pop that cherry. But now you need to go over to iTunes. You don't need an account. It's absolutely free. Search The Boxing Voice, THABOXINGVOICE, and click that review button and drop us a 5-star review if you feel we deserve it. And please do put some words there, basically everything you just said, because if you don't put words, it doesn't show up. Let me see. I know who this is.
We'll shake it.
It was all my dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
What's good with it, man? How you like them fights?
Entertaining, to say the least, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I don't know what's going on, man, but I think you got to go back to the drawing board, man. You got to start.
You know,
you got to get off.
You know what
you
I
got to
was
get
thinking,
on
Dream?
BoxRec, and you got to start watching. You got to start assessing performances, man. Assessing styles.
Hey, Dream. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking, if there's anybody I could say this to, it's you. I was thinking I'm going to just go get a limpieza, man. I need to go see una persona que trabaja con santería, porque yo estoy sarao.
Yeah, nah. Listen, man, what you got to do is you got to look at the fights, man. You got to look at styles. You got to look at the intangibles, man. You got to look at, you know, this guy, Lomachenko, man. Those couple pro fights he had, and that fight with Salido, plus his 2 gold medals, man, and just the way he handled Salido in that fight, man. He dealt with more adversity than Gary Russell has ever, you know, dealt with in his whole career. And I knew that would be a factor. And, you know, he won. And you know what? Gary looked good. In his loss, Gary looked good. Speed, power. He was very poised. You know, he was on his A game, but he fought a better fighter. He fought a guy with more experience, because if you fighting bums, man, that's not gonna do you no good. Just like Canelo's fighting all those bums, and then he fought Floyd, and Floyd took him to school, because you can't jump from bums to elite level world class. You know what I'm saying? As far as Soto Carrasco's and Devin Alexander, that was a hell of a fight. And Alexander did what he had to do. He did his thing. I picked Carras in that fight because I do love my Mexican fighters, you know, but I did pick Lomachenko to win. And in all the big fights, man, I've been winning, man. I mean, you had what? You had Groves beating Fries. I picked Fries. You had Bradley. I picked Fat Guy. You had who else, man? It was another fight. But
Cotto
Martinez. Man, you gotta start assessing. You gotta start watching these fighters, man. Watching what they do, what they don't do, what their weaknesses are. Not only that, but the attitude, the mentality, how they behave psychologically going into certain fights. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Dream.
Yeah.
It's okay, because your little win streak is over next week.
I'm going with Gambo in that fight, man.
I know.
I'm going with Gamboa in that fight. Why? I'm going to tell you why right now. Talent.
Okay.
And you know what? Experience. You got the black dude, Crawford. You know, yeah, he been doing some nice work in the pros, but he hasn't fought great opposition. He doesn't have volume. He's not a knockout artist, and he's just not of the caliber talent as Gamboa. What he has is two things. I'll make it brief because I know you want to drive by it. It's late. What he has two things: is size and recent activity. But his size would be a factor if he was a knockout artist, but he's not. And his activity might be a factor, but I think Gamboa's talent will carry him through today. But I'll tell you what, I'm going out on a limb picking Gamboa, but still, I'm going to go with Gamboa because I think he's just a better fighter. He's just a better fighter.
All right, so let me ask you.
But
this.
and one more thing about Guerrero.
You
Go
said
ahead.
you said you wanted me to assess fighters and their styles and the way that they fight, right? So Crawford moved up to 140 pounds and he fought British Prescott. Now British Prescott is not a B+ fighter. He may not even be a C+ fighter, but he's a bigger man with a lot of power and has proven that he has power. And Crawford was able to dominate him and take that added weight. Now he moved back down and he went to fucking Ireland and Scotland and beat the shit out of Ricky Burns.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna tell you two things. Number one,
what's Gamboa's biggest win?
Look at what
What's Gamboa's biggest win?
Look at what Martinez is doing. Yeah, but look at what there you go. You're going with the box rec stuff again. Well, who be who? But why he? Look at. I'm gonna tell you again. Martinez fought all those big guys, bigger, stronger, younger than Cotto, but they weren't better than him. Cotto was a different quality, caliber fighter, and he beat his ass. He fought Matthew Macklin, who was big and stronger. He fought Kelly Pavlik, who's a fucking walking around 200-something pounds, just like 6'2", you know what I'm saying, a big guy. And Kelly couldn't do shit to Martinez, and Cotto destroyed him based on his class. You know, British Prescott ain't nothing but a journeyman with some decent pop. He ain't Gamboa. I'm not saying Gamboa has done world class level things. But I watch his talent. He got speed. He got movement. His footwork. He got power. You know what I'm saying? He does have a suspect chin, but he always gets up. I think he'll find a way to win.
But Dream, you said look at the fight itself. So you're right. British Prescott, I agree with you. He isn't the best, but it's the way that Crawford beat him. But we'll find out Saturday night. Dream, I'm gonna let you go. I got like two other people.
And one more thing. That Guerrero. Look, Guerrero borderline bum, man. It's just a theme to this. Every guy Floyd fought that you slamming Floyd for fighting him. They turn out to be bums. Victor Ortiz got his jaw broke by Josecito after Floyd. He got smashed by Collazo's old ass. You know what I'm saying? Cotto went and lost to Trout. And then you got this dude, what's his name? This guy Guerrero looking like a bum against this Chinese dude who can't even pop. I mean, come on, man. Floyd a bum. He's cherry picking, man. Anyway, all right. That's it.
All right. 916, you're live on the Boxer Voice.
This is Alex. I came back for round 2.
What up, Alex?
Just want to get back to the Guerrero. You know, Dream saying that, you know, he's a bum, taken away from him, you know, discrediting Guerrero. You know, this dude, Kamegai, whatever, the Japanese guy, he was 6'2.5" tall. And he came in, you know, big dude coming down to 147 when he rehydrated for fight night, came in at 162. Big ass dude, you know, and Guerrero basically threw the plan out the window. You know, Guerrero, he is a hot-blooded Latin fighter with big balls. He said, fuck the plan. This big-ass Japanese want to trade. We're going to trade punch for punch. Stayed in the pocket. I seen signs of Gotti Ward. I was looking at the flat screen with my jaw wide open. I couldn't believe it. I said, good thing I put my son to sleep in the other room with my girl already because no children should be watching that. You know, but I wanted to think I wanted to get your opinion. What do you think about Robert Guerrero fighting maybe Adrian Broner or Josecito Lopez or Devin Alexander? What about those three?
I'd take any of them, especially the Broner fight. I want to see Broner in there with another tough guy.
Yeah. Well, do you guys agree with what I was saying about, Kamegai? He was a competitor, and, these Japanese fighters, they have the way of the samurai. They're ready to die in that ring. They're going to give it all they got. Just last year, the Russian guy lost his life in the ring after a big fight like that. It's dangerous. And then I heard reports, I read an article, it said that Guerrero got $1 million for this fight, and the Japanese guy only made $75K. I think that's a big discrepancy right there, and, he deserves more money. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, man, he definitely does. Brother, I'm going to place you on hold. I'm going to get to our last caller of the night. Brandon Johnson, you've been on hold forever. I apologize, my friend. The thing is, you're calling in on Skype, but you're not pressing 1, so you're not showing up at the top, man. You're all the way at the bottom.
Yo, Ness.
What up?
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Listen, I've been trying to get on for months, man. I pressed 1 on my Skype. I'm going to ask you this, and then we'll get to everything. I press 1, and nothing happens. Is it my Skype, or is it like, do I need to re-update my Skype maybe? I don't know.
I don't know, because if you're pressing 1, it's not showing up over here. Usually when a caller presses 1, it puts you in a separate queue from the just listening people. And you're at the just listening. You had to tweet me, tell me that you were Brandon. I had to go looking for your name.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what else to do. I try it every week, and I can't get through it. 1 doesn't work. I'll try it again next week, man.
Hey,
I don't
look,
know.
man,
Thank you for taking the call.
Listen, worst case scenario, keep doing what you're doing and just tweet me or Vic or James or B. Try them first, because I'm doing everything else before I look at the Twitter.
Yeah, you're the man, and I appreciate you extending the show tonight. I know everybody's got to work, and whatever, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, man.
Okay. So, listen, I don't know how much time we got, but do you want to hear a Gary Russell story?
Yeah.
A little personal thing? Okay. All right. So I'm from Niagara Falls, Canada. I train out of, it's now called Irwin Boxing Club. My trainer, Billy Irwin, was a professional. I don't know if you guys, how long you've been watching ESPN Friday Night Fights. Back in 99, 2000, I believe he had 9 consecutive knockouts in a row. It was crazy. He fought Spadafora, also fought Juan Diaz. Besides the point, this is my trainer. One day, we're in the gym. It's a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon, and out of nowhere, lo and behold, a guy named Jamie Phelps, another trainer from Niagara Falls, comes in with, who we didn't know at the time, maybe this was 3 years ago, Gary Russell. Gary Russell comes into the gym. We're in Canada. I still don't know why he was there. BMWs pulled up. Entourage came in. We have 2 standout amateurs, one that isn't fighting anymore and one that has been over to Serbia. He just came back from Wales. He's going to attempt a run at the Pan Am Games next year because they're in Canada, and he could be a potential Olympic prospect. His name's Lucas Body. In Canada, he trains with some Sam Vargas and another Canadians out here. Irregardless, he came in, and my trainer, the fighters, we were kind of asked him, like, how many fights do you have, man? Thinking he's an amateur fighter, okay? He never said he wasn't an amateur fighter. At the time, I believe he said, I got 12 fights, and at the time, the amateurs I trained with, they had maybe 3 or 4 on their belt, like nothing, man, like fucking nothing. So, what happens? Gary says, let's spar. Can we get some sparring in? Sure, no problem. Gary's a small guy, so we don't even know how old he is. Couldn't tell anything, right? Comes in and just lights up one of the other boxers. These kids were 15 at the time. Lit up the one boxer named Michael Abrascato. Lit him up. He came out of the ring, and we were going, what the fuck is going on? Let's throw Lucas in there, man. Lucas is a little more slick. We'll see what happens. Entourage starts shouting, there it is, baby. Throw that jab. Yeah, you connecting. Gary's saying, all right, I got you. Just put a blast on him for 2 rounds. Came out of the ring. My trainer wanted to get in there. They didn't want to have it, and they kind of took off. And it wasn't until maybe 2 days later we found out what the fuck was going on. Gary Russell, Olympic prospect, fucking 12-0 fighter, knockouts, speed. That guy came in and was lighting those jabs like crazy. Never seen a faster punch in my life. Needless to say, we were watching the fights last night, and we were looking at Lomachenko, and we were kind of saying, you know, there it is, baby. Every time he was landing his shit, because that left a sore spot in our hearts. And I don't know. Gary comes across as a nice guy every post interview I've ever seen him, but I don't understand that. And ever since then, you know, that's just a little personal story. But thought I'd drop that just to let you guys know. The fuck, man, that wasn't cool.
Man, we definitely like to know the inside stuff like that, because it's like you said, in every interview and every time that I see him, he's always real respectful. And I said that last week. Always real respectful, very mature, kind of Andre Wardish. And you just gave us another side that we didn't know about.
I'm telling you, and it's no lie. It's real talk. The only thing I thought Gary was going to carry into this fight was his power and his speed. I thought maybe with the speed he could counter something that Lomachenko would throw, and the power would be there, just like it was in that I can't remember that fight he had where he threw that left hook and just, oh my God, it was disgusting. I guess it was a right hook, maybe southpaw. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Gary has pop, but last night it didn't show, and the speed he was missing the punches. So I gave him 2 rounds. I gave Gary 2 rounds.
Yeah, well, at least you gave him 2. There was guys that called in that said they only gave him 1. But that's about it, Brandon. I'm sorry you had to wait on hold so long. Like I said, make sure you tweet us or something, because if you don't press 1, you're gonna be in another queue, and I'm gonna have to like look for you. So I need to know that you're there in order to look for you. But thanks again for calling in. Well, guys, we extended the show another half an hour. It's 10:30 now over here on the East Coast. This is the Boxing Voice, and once again, I am your host, NesGTO, and NesGTO on Twitter. Joined alongside Joe Habib at
Shay Habib 1.
All right, guys, we'll be back Thursday night.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.